If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Happy Monday.
Monday, people. Monday. Wake up.
Bro-RantZ family. It's Monday, baby.
This dude said, wake the fuck up.
We back, y'all. We back.
Yo.
Somebody open the door for us.
Somebody
coming through.
Somebody opened the door and then immediately closed it. This dude said, wake up. You know, it was like, what was it with Robin Williams, right? Was it Good Morning Vietnam?
Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
Wake, that was the Raymond's version. That was Good Morning Harlem or Kenya. Wake the fuck up.
You know, for some
Kenyan
reason,
people are very offended.
hey, for some reason, what came to my mind just now when I was in the military.
I should be allowed to say it though, right?
I don't know why the military came to my mind just now when I was in the boot camp.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, get out of our way. We're coming through. And if you don't, we'll stomp on you.
Ooh, okay.
So make a hole.
All right.
And make a wide.
Okay.
Yo.
'Cause 053 is passing by.
Oh, that was
your
your
troop chant?
Yeah,
that was a unit?
in the Navy. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
053.
And so you guys would be like seriously chanting that as you like
As we marching.
Okay.
As we marching through the base.
Now on this side, it sounds kind of cool. Was it like cool in like real practice, real time?
Well,
like
when you had pride with your, it's like this is like your gang.
Okay.
This is your crew. This is who you rolling with
Okay.
because you want to look good with them.
okay,
But as you get past the boot camp stage, that was corny.
okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sounds cool on this side, but like real time practice, I'm like that could be a little.
It is a little corny, but
They're laughing at you, like, look at these fresh faces.
But it's you know, when you're doing it, it's kind of a proud moment. You're feeling like you're strong and you're looking good, but it's
Yeah.
it's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe, but it's, you know, it's not.
Short lived.
Yeah, it's short lived.
Well, we're grateful for your services.
Yes, thank you, sir.
But your corny no.
Listen, it lasted, right? You remember that chant like it
I
was
know,
nothing.
yo, but it's supposed to build camaraderie, right? So you guys,
It did. It
that's what it's
did.
supposed to be because it's your
World.
unit against the world.
Well, that's when I first realized what claustrophobia was.
Oh, really?
Going into the military. When I left the airport, got on the van to go to the base, get in front of the base, they have that gate. You come in the gate, and then your van goes up.
Yeah.
The gate closes behind you. I turned around. The gate opens in front of you. You pass through the second gate. I kept looking back, and I realized I'm here.
That's it.
I can't leave.
Yeah.
Two gates.
And
Armed.
the van shrunk.
Yeah.
And I got like claustrophobic. I was like,
Nah, I don't know if that was claustrophobia. That was
anxiety attacks.
Nah, that wasn't claustrophobia. That was fear. I was like, yo, first and
got
foremost,
real.
yo, he went to the wrong military. I was like, because the Navy, there's less women, right?
So I
It's
hear
all-
the
it's
Navy's
all
the
like-
easiest branch is what I hear.
Nah, but it's like a man in a can.
well, the women were not even at our base.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
The women were down in Orlando.
So
So like when I came to Orlando to a base, but
Yeah.
that's when the women were there in Orlando.
So what about when you got like on the boat, when you guys got on the ship, it was a mixture co-ed, or was it just strictly dudes on a boat?
it was strictly dudes on the boat until we went on our 6-month tour. Then they brought in different groups from all over.
Yeah.
So our ship went from like, went from like 1,000 to 5,000.
Oh wow.
So you had all like a lot of women on there then. I mean, it wasn't a lot compared to the like, you know, it was maybe 10-1 for the women.
Yeah.
You know, but
10-1 for the women.
yeah, 10-10.
Yeah, the women were like, we got our, you know, it's like real life for the women. Like, oh, this is how it is every day.
And they weren't like great looking.
I know, but after 6 months, they look great looking. It's like,
Right. 3 months at sea.
It's like being in the club and it's look, you don't have a partner yet, and it's like 5 minutes before the club's gonna close, you gotta find that partner.
No,
Do.
but I tell you this: when you were in Orlando,
Yeah.
and you next to the female base, the ones in the boot camp, when they come out of the boot camp for the 2 months and they get that little weekend off, it's a little different then.
Okay.
It's a little different. Like
It's a party.
it's definitely a party. It's definitely there was that one hotel, and it was always packed every weekend. It was packed full of the people who just graduated. Every weekend.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I know
Away the secrets.
I know,
tricks
dude.
Of the trade,
bro. I heard but I know, like even back in the day, it was the sailors, right? They women, you know, were drawn to the sailors. You had your uniform, right? You had the white or
Yes,
I'm thinking officer and gentleman and shit. I'm thinking Air Force.
You take it to a whole nother.
So when I was in the Navy and I was getting ready to go to overseas on my 6-month tour, they used to tell us that women will be waiting for you on the pier when you pull up on the boat.
Yeah,
I didn't believe that. You know, I'm 18. I'm like, whatever. Ain't no girl waiting for me on no boat on no pier.
yeah.
As we pull up, we're out front. You know how you see people on top of the deck because I was on the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
So we pulling up, and I see like a lot of women with signs and stuff waiting for us at the pier.
What did the sign say?
Just like, welcome, good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here. I'm single. Just all types of stuff.
That's crazy.
Shut up.
It's crazy.
I'm serious. And the women do come at you. They come at you. And what's crazy is that as you are, like, let's just say they have an accent or their look, as you are in all of them,
They're in all of you.
they're just as much as in all of you. And you don't have to do that much talking. Like, you just, like, it's more or less like they are the guys and you are the girls.
Yeah, I get that. But what pier was this? Where were you? No, I'm saying, where was it? Where was it?
Like almost
For research purposes.
everywhere.
Huh? Everywhere? No, but with the accent being different, what was it? Like, just name one that was that you could remember.
Off the top of my head?
Yeah.
Australia.
Oh, straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Down under.
all right, hey, get him. I'm free. Yo,
That's crazy. I did not know that.
dude. I've heard about that all my life. You know why? Because they know about that pension and that fucking green card
Looking for a free ride?
and that green card. They know about the pension and, like, you know, you get.
So Ray, they weren't looking for love,
They were looking for love that night
love and
and
connection.
I don't
love that can grow.
You know what?
Love that can grow.
I couldn't tell. You know what? I did have a pen pal relationship with a girl from Australia for like 10 years.
10 years.
Really?
Like, we was pen pals, and then she even came to America and went like on a American tour where she came into L.A.
Yeah.
and visited San Fran. She visited Seattle. She visited New Orleans, Miami, Orlando, New York, D.C. Like pretty much all
Did
over.
you get to see her?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We hung out for like a week.
Oh yeah. So what happened?
We just hung out.
I mean, like, nothing materialized from there. Nothing. No love connection.
No. We were just cool. Like, she came with her sister. We just hung out.
Okay.
Her dad even called me to thank me and to thank me that I took care of his daughter.
Yeah.
And she, like, you know, she was like Anglo-Indian.
Okay.
But had the Australian accent though.
Right.
So
pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
No, it's pretty cool. He was like, "What's your intention for my daughter?"
I got one more question because I know we're like way off base here, but like, what if you had to do it all over again?
Yeah.
So your 6-month tour, what was probably one of the biggest takeaways from that? Like, as far as your expectations going in versus like real time.
What would I do different? So
Yeah.
all right. I went into the mindset of like clubbing and hanging out and acting crazy with my friends, right?
Right.
Versus going to see a lot of the, like, I did go to places like I went around the city, but I didn't go to places as far as like historical stuff.
Okay.
I did see things that was pretty weird to me, different to me, but I didn't have the eyes that I have now.
Okay.
I'm more, I'm seasoned now, so I look at everything different, But back then, I would see something that was weird, that was cool, historical, but I'd be like, yeah, okay, all right, where's she at?
Right.
But you were young. I mean, it was age appropriate for what, I mean. It was age appropriate. Your way you acted matched your age. So
we still got dudes that ain't grow up yet. So.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can right now is the age I think is where you want to go historically and look at things and appreciate travel.
Oh yes, totally.
Navy don't want you no more though.
What was even? I'm gonna say one last thing. Two of our dudes, they had to get left behind in Australia because they got caught with some underage girls over there.
What?
And what's crazy is this. So me and my homeboy T-Ray, if you listen to this, you remember this right here, T-Ray. We were walking down the street, and these two girls were following us, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, T-Ray, we got some girls, some groupies following us right now. He goes, where? What are they at? What are they at? I'm like, T-Ray, they right there. T-Ray right behind us. And so we stopped, sat down on this bench, and the girls were like, they walked up to us, and they looked at us, and they were staring at us, and I was like, T-Ray, that's somebody's babies right there. They like 15, 16-year-olds. I'm like, nah, T-Ray. No, we ain't going to jail. And then to think of that moment right there, and then we getting ready to leave, and then everybody from this other division came down and said, hey, we leaving so-and-so. I'm like, who? And they said their names. I can't remember now. It's like 20 years ago. But we left them because they were arrested for messing around with underage girls.
Wow. I bet you right now, T-Ray got a job in R. Kelly's entourage.
Wow.
Actually, I think T-Ray is in Italy right now. My man T-Ray.
On the run. That dude's running right now.
Hey, T-Ray, I miss you, homeboy. You was a cool dude, man.
Yeah, we miss you too, T-Ray.
War Eagle T-Ray.
Where you at so we can get that reward money? I'm just kidding. Speaking of, R. Kelly, dude, 30 years.
Hey, you know what? If he'd been arrested 30 years ago, he'd be out by now.
Right.
I mean, when it first went down, it would have been over.
So what seriously, what's everybody's thoughts on Kel's situation?
He got some good music.
So I co-signed that, right? Like, it doesn't change the fact that I'm a fan of his music. It's definitely changed the experience, and it's a little hard to listen to it and not think about what's going on. But I remember even in the height of his fame, there was always these mumblings and whisperings about how he was moving and supposedly moving funny. So I don't think it was like a huge surprise for most folk.
No, because I had that bootleg.
You know what?
Oh no, bro! You know that's damn near kiddie porn.
Hey, didn't know back then.
I got nothing to do with this one.
Right?
Yo, I think
T-Ray, get your boy.
Yo, T-Ray, come get him. Come get him. Yo, it's
back then everybody had that bootleg.
Yeah. Not me, man.
Now y'all acting high and mighty.
No, I'm
serious, bro.
That one I didn't have. I was curious.
I
didn't have that.
Well, listen, all it was on the bootleg.
Because like Young Ray would say when he was 18, that's someone's baby. That's babies. Them babies. So now,
but what was crazy, it was just like basically, it was so grainy. You could tell it was him, but you couldn't tell it was him, right?
Okay. And but we can't get too specific because again, that's kiddie porn. So don't go into detail because you are describing. You are.
She's not kiddie porn now.
It was, but it doesn't matter. It's locked and sealed as that's child pornography, man. So we can't even describe it. We can't even talk about it. I don't know, bro. I think it's. I think you're walking that fine line.
I need to go to HR real quick.
HR?
Yeah, HR.
Bro-RantZ HR.
I need to sign the
waiver of release. Look.
No, hold up. We just got a text. Oh shoot. Damn. FBI coming from Jay.
Right.
Jeff, come for him. Damn, bro.
Well, that concludes today's episode.
I know, right? Well, it was great. Ray, thank you for what you did for this country.
Sorry we took you down this road. We didn't know you were going to incriminate yourself.
Hey, anyway. JT coming. JT coming, TJ. Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if JT and TJ the same person?
The same person, right? This depends on what part of time
this dude's about. This dude's like, I'm in Italy right now. Hey, sure you are. He's right here. No,
as a matter of fact, on one of my messages that I got, it's from one of my friends from San Diego.
Yeah. Okay.
Their mom messaged me about what we're talking about today, and she messaged me JT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
For any new listeners, that is Ray's alias. At one time, Ray went under the alias JT,
And he won't tell us
and
what
we're
it's about.
still
You
trying to get the backstory, but I suspect this video was during the JT time.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
no.
Yeah, so we don't, bro. We're trying to save you. Now we're trying to save you,
me with
We're not gonna.
bro. We're trying to save you right now. So you might want to just say, yeah, it was then. It was about
So
that.
look, I got one more story for y'all. Then this might make.
It's never good when you start laughing before you
exactly.
tell the story.
So look,
I don't know, man. Both your stories had to do with kitties, but I'm worried.
Back in Mobile, I used to date this girl named Janelle, right? And she's the mother of my daughter in Mobile, right?
Okay.
And Janelle happens to be really, really short.
Okay.
Right, real short. So we was in Crystal. It was late night. You know how people go to Crystal's late night back in the day.
Okay. I see where this is going.
So we in Crystal's late night, and we in line waiting. All of a sudden, this dude walked by and go, "Hey, dog, they go R. Kelly right now. They go R. Kelly."
Shut up.
Yo. Wait. This is when? Recently?
No, this is like, I don't know, like back in that time, that R. Kelly time.
Damn,
So
if it was
they
back
seen y'all two
then,
together
even
and-
back then.
Because you
of
saw
her-
how short she is.
Because I was short she was.
Damn.
We both died laughing.
No,
That's
but
crazy.
yeah, but going back to R. Kelly. Yeah, only thing I ever heard about R. Kelly was the Aaliyah thing, and how I don't know how far in age they were as far as separate.
Well, she was 15 and
Yeah,
he was
she was
20.
underage.
he was in his late 20s.
Like 20s.
Late 20s.
So you know what's so crazy though? Speaking of, Elvis was the same thing, right? He was Lisa Marie was 14. He was 24.
I didn't know that. I don't really know much about Elvis.
Dude, I've been hearing so much things since this movie came out. I've been hearing so much things as far as he having a thing. 14 was the magic number because it would be 15 or 14 girls he was dating, the ages, and
Also, so Elvis dated was into young girls. Also, is what you're saying?
yes,
Is that what
and
you're
then
hearing?
people are like, oh, that's the Tennessee thing. That's the
That's a Tennessee thing.
bro. That's what I'm hearing, and I'm like, so they like leave this part out of history. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's very well documented that Priscilla was 14 when he met her in Germany, and they dated, but they didn't consummate the relationship until she was 18, and that's when they finally did the thing.
But you don't believe Michael Jackson met some little boys, though.
No, he didn't, man. Come on, bro. Michael Jackson didn't. What did it have to do with? What are you trying to take away?
Well, I'm just saying he raises a good point. Like we're going down that road.
I'm
We're
just
going down
saying,
that
he
road.
was with like a lot of young boys.
They even came out and said it. The kid came out and said it that he never touched him.
No, and then he came out and said he did.
No, not the kid that did the first.
It was some
stuff.
boys that said he did, and the only reason they didn't because they was so cool with him. They
Wait,
they
you talking
wanna
about? Don't talk about. You're not talking about Neverland.
I'm talking. Yes,
You're not talking about Wade Robinson that was broke ass poor and selling his memorabilia. No, that's a con.
I don't.
And that's a con, and nothing matched. They even show that none of the evidence matched. It was them trying to make money. That's why the documentary's nowhere.
Some of those girls on the R. Kelly, they said the same thing you saying right now. They was like, nah, it was just a con.
Nah, what are you talking about?
So you know how you defending Michael Jackson saying that all that's just a con, right?
Yeah.
Some of them girls who were fans of R. Kelly said the same thing. Same thing you saying. They got the same argument.
Yeah, but if you look at the facts, man, there's so many facts. That's why we don't even hear about Wade Robinson and the other guy anymore because these dudes planned it.
How do you have the facts?
You have, but listen, you had McCartney.
If you wasn't
Macaulay
there.
Culkin, that he was hanging since he was little, said Michael was never like that. You had Webster.
What
Said the same thing.
Hold on.
Gary Coleman, not Gary Coleman. Emmanuel Lewis, right? I don't know. Emmanuel Webster. For those who know,
why is it that just because Macaulay Culkin said it, we got to take his word for it?
and Webster,
But why
Emmanuel Day Lewis.
But why them? Aren't they stars already though? Aren't they stars? You think a star is okay? Maybe Michael didn't mess with the stars, but what about the boys who weren't stars? People who didn't have
There's
a voice.
multiple people that
people who didn't have a platform or power.
because listen, there are multiple people. Okay, you're talking about the guy, so we'll prove it.
You can't prove it.
Yes, we can
Because
because
if you're not there,
you can
you can't
prove it
prove it.
because the guy that set him up with the younger guy, he wanted a screenplay to come out. He was over here pushing his kid on Michael so they could be close, so he can sit there and sell Michael Jackson. Oh, here's a screenplay. Michael Jackson was like, nah, I'll look at it, but I'm not, he didn't end up doing anything. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, I got this plan in place.
But
it was recorded.
It isn't
saying,
just
I got this plan in place.
But it isn't just one kid, though.
But the other kids, they got disapproved. You're talking about the ones that claimed they had cancer. They tried to come through the one he went to court for, and he came out innocent because Johnny Cochran and them told him not to fight the first one. So he was like, okay, well, pay it off. That's what I'm saying. If you look at all these movies, they document that he was going to fight the first case, and they said, no, just pay him off or whatever. And he was like, but I don't. But they were like, don't worry about it, just pay it off. Not realizing when you pay these people off, it shows, it sets the tone for guilt, right. And people assume that because he was like, there's no evidence.
Got public opinion, and then you incite other folks that.
Let me ask you this.
But let me prove to you. Wait, let me prove to you why the first one was a lie. L.A., the Los Angeles, Orange County went there, took pictures of him. It didn't match anything that kid said because here's the thing: they didn't need that kid to press charges on Michael Jackson. They arrested Michael Jackson. You remember? He got pictures done. Every part of it didn't match what the kid came up with. So that's why they didn't pursue it. Michael paid the kid, right? They settled. His insurance company settled it. But they went for him to arrest him because that's a DA thing, a DA choice, district attorney, and they had no evidence. They said only thing they found in this man's word thing was no kiddie porn none. He was a heterosexual. All he had was Playboys of women. And pornos or whatever of women. So I'm just saying the evidence was there.
So you're saying without a doubt,
without a shadow of doubt, the dude
Michael
was a heterosexual.
Jackson never messed with no little boys.
Never messed with no little boys, man.
I don't know about that.
Hey, man.
So the only issue I have with the MJ situation is fool me once, right? Like, why put yourself in that situation? And so that's the issue I have. Whether whether he's guilty or innocent, I can't argue that. I'm a huge MJ fan, and I continue to believe that, you know what?
Yeah.
He just wielded so much power as far as like public opinion and just how big he became.
Yeah.
You know what? With that popularity, with the type of coin he was making, he was world renowned. You become a target. That's just the unfortunate piece of it.
I agree with that too. He's a target.
That's we see that in with plenty of other celebrities that don't even carry close to the sway that he did from a public standpoint. All of that said, though, is like, dude, if you find yourself in this situation before, I would be done. I'd be done with like the hangouts and the sleepovers. And like, you ain't finding me near another child without like ongoing adult supervision.
Thank you. Times. Why he got little kids over there by himself?
Everywhere. And so that's where it's kind of like, dude, why would you do that to yourself?
Exactly.
And I understand he was dealing with his own like emotional trauma, right? Because he had his own stuff going on up top.
Yeah.
But it's kind
and wasn't he abused?
Why?
No, he wasn't abused. He was physically abused, like beaten by his dad. And mentally, emotionally, but he wasn't sexually abused. Not that we know of, and we know of. He was never alone with kids anyway, because there's always a set of kids with him. He was never alone with a room with a boy or whatever. And here's the thing: he always gave his bed to the people. He always gave his bed to the kid. He never slept in the same bed as the kid.
Reggie, how you know this,
bro? I'm trying to.
You're not there.
This is what was documented and said. I'm trying to tell you. I'm not coming off the top of my head. This is what was said. He said he never laid with any kid. He gave him his bed.
Amber Heard never cheated on Johnny.
Speaking on Amber Heard,
she never cheated.
Let's go back to. Speaking of, because we haven't touched on that.
We haven't touched on that in a minute,
dude. Did you hear? I know we were supposed to get back together. Did you hear the tapings? Did you hear the tapings? Did you hear all the nonsense wrapped up in it? Did you believe her?
No. So the tough thing for Amber is whether maybe she believes her truth carries weight, but when you see her, her energy, her look, everything just came off as so disingenuous.
Yes.
That, you know what, even before that court ruling came down, she lost.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, because I don't think there was many people that saw her, listened to what she had to say, saw the emotion, heard the audio, and walked away feeling like, oh, yeah, you know what, you were, like, so abused in this situation. It sounded like the abuse went both ways, and there were instances where the evidence she presented actually spoke less favorable of herself than it did Johnny. So she
it did.
you know what, for Johnny, regardless of what the outcome of the jury's decision was, it was a win for him.
Oh, absolutely, by the public opinion.
And I was hoping that she would just go easy into the night, let things settle down a little bit. I've seen, I think she's done shows, she's come out, she's made a couple of statements, and I don't think she has a choice, right? Because she has to
she gotta
find
live.
a way to stay relevant.
She gotta live.
Well, she can't talk about the case really. She's digging a deeper hole. She's over here still claiming, even though she had a defamation case, she lost. She's still going over there saying this is true and true. And here's the thing: the evidence was presented. You've been found guilty, and you're still going on with this.
Well, I think she tried to indicate that there were some things that she was unable to share with the
her
jury.
journal. Look, I got medical records. Listen, you go to your psychiatrist, you tell your psychiatrist, "Oh, I'm being abused." That's not medical records. That's you giving someone opinion of what's happening to you at home, and they just write it down as hearsay because at the end of the day, there's no medical records, and that was the evidence she wanted to have that wasn't presented in court because it's hearsay. It's you pay someone, you see them. And you're saying, "Oh yeah, he hit me this weekend," and the other person's like, "Okay, he hit you this weekend."
The crazy thing about this is, when all is said and done, I don't know what the expectation was when these legal proceedings began on either party's behalf. But man, you talk about a full swing. This woman fell out of good graces with so many groups, so many people. Looks like she's out of work.
I'm gonna miss an Aquaman too.
And
from what I heard, she's still in it.
And then you
is
got
she?
Johnny,
yes. Okay,
whose brand seems to have skyrocketed.
Oh yeah.
But listen, the real winner. All right, let's be real about this. The real winner, the real MVP in this whole thing is his
Bro-RantZ.
lawyer.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, that's.
Oh, you talking about Vanessa?
Camille?
Camille. Oh yes, Camille was
is the
awesome,
winner.
brother.
She's good looking.
She made partner from that with her firm.
Camille is the real MVP.
Absolutely.
I love her interaction she had when she tried trying to pin her down to say she paid that money to the charities. I pledged it. No, did you pay it? I pledged it.
Yeah, and all she kept doing was looking at the damn
jury,
which is the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, which was also very disingenuous.
Awkward. Yeah, it was so awkward, and
it was so not sincere.
You know what? Amber Heard is one of those people, and you saw it. I sat there and I don't know if you sat there and watched it, either you and saw, wow, this is a sliver of what Johnny went through. For her to sit there and argue with the lawyer,
Johnny was no saint either.
Oh no. I'm talking about as far as he said it. You she has to be right. You have to placate in order for the conversation to end because she has to be right. Because the whole pledge thing, it was okay, and everything she had an answer for. It was nothing she would ever admit. And that's why she lost the case too, because she never admitted any wrong.
Yes or no. It was just always some.
Yeah, it was this is why. Oh, because I did that because of this. Oh, I hit him because because he hit me. It was always someone else's fault. This is the reason I did, and that's why. And I was, like I said, being there and seeing her argue about pledge and donate, and you're sitting here no, just admit you lied.
And then the other thing too was everything defaulted to well, I knew Johnny was using.
Yes.
So this is I was familiar with this.
Yes.
Cycle, and I was trying to get out of it, and it's kind of, and I'm not disputing any of that, but at the end of the day, there still has to be some accountability. Okay, right? Johnny has to be accountable for his use of alcohol or whatever he was doing.
Absolutely.
But your approach to some of the things as well, you got to take ownership for it. And like you said, Reg, there was very little accountability. And it just came off as so disingenuous.
None.
Even the crying thing. I think the crying thing was probably the worst thing, right? Because he'd be like,
bruh.
He'd be like, are you trying to squeeze moisture? I don't,
bruh.
What is happening?
How about her own witness set her ass up? Because she had her acting coach, and her acting coach came out and said, oh, but Amber, that's the tough thing with her when she's acting, she can't cry. So it was oh, look, she's not crying. And
you didn't need the acting coach to confirm that.
I know that. And here's another thing. She didn't do drugs. But what was on the agenda for the wedding? Dance, dinner, drugs. That was on the agenda. She had emailed that out.
Wow.
They didn't know that.
And and here's the thing. She also, people have said she was using cocaine before Johnny. So she's been an addict. And it's even showed in her, she's an addict. She's a drug addict. You can just tell from her face, man. Like, she went from a pretty girl to, I don't even know what, she just looks, I don't know.
No, she's still a looker, bro.
Nah.
She
think so?
broke.
You think so, right?
She
looks weird, man. She got implants in her cheeks.
I think she'll be okay. She ain't, I mean, listen, she'll find somebody.
Agreed.
I don't know. Hey, if someone has signed their death warrant.
She may not find herself back at the center of Hollywood, but she going to be all right.
People still try to marry Jenna Jameson, okay? So, come on.
She going to be okay.
Jenna Jameson.
The porn star. People still try to marry her. So, I mean, there are people who try to marry people in prison.
Who she beat?
I'm sorry.
I know she's been beaten.
My whole point is this. My point is,
I'm touching that one.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. Somebody gonna like her no matter what.
It may not
matter.
That's different, man. That's different. Jenna Jameson never hurt nobody.
It may not be like summer blockbusters, but she gonna find work, and like you
somebody
said,
likes
somebody. Look, Jenna Jameson ain't never hurt nobody.
Yeah, she has.
Somebody hurt her.
Oh, somebody. She don't hurt somebody.
Nice. Somebody has hurt her. Somebody's
pleading the fifth. On this one.
So let's
going down a very tricky road,
slippery road, slippery trickery. Speaking of, no. Here's the thing: in the media, this is from day one. They were like, "Oh, why is he bringing this case up? He's not going to win." They were acting like this case was pointless for Johnny to bring up. He's the one that wanted televised. The thing I can say is there's been one-sided, which I didn't like, man. I'm glad it was televised and the public can make their own opinion, because had we gotten...
Which is the whole reason they filed in that particular state.
Yes,
right?
that's why he wanted to have it publicized on televised, yeah. So from that, everyone was able to see real time, and not only that, catch up on YouTube and stuff like that, the actual testimonies and see what would happen if we had gotten the snippets or the highlights from the media, which was already saying
you're relying strictly on the media,
bro. And they were saying they were like, oh, she did good.
Is untrustworthy.
They were doing it the whole time. They were like, oh, she had a great day in court and this and then I'm over here like I watch this
Fox,
thing.
I don't care if you're into CNN.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever you're in, I'm going to tell you right now, the media, in my opinion, is not trustworthy.
Oh, absolutely.
I go in with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like, all right,
that's why I don't really watch the news. Yeah, I don't really watch
your own research.
That's where it's going.
It's crazy.
That's where it's going. That's why I like these independent outlets, and I think that's where where entertainment stuff is going is now. People, creators, content creators, actually doing the research and giving you stuff that is non-biased and letting you form your own opinion. Another thing too, the reason I told Ray and I discussed it as well. I don't know about you, but I felt this was an important case for men because men are generalized and they cannot be victims. And to me, Johnny was more a victim in this case than Amber Heard.
Agreed.
So I think that really showed that, hey, even if you're a powerful man, like wielding power financially, you can also be victimized emotionally and physically. Doesn't matter what your damn pay rate is or how much money you wield.
But they had the perfect storm with her because, like, we were able to see how bad she was. Had it been someone else who was more genuine, it would have been probably a little bit different.
It would have probably been a little tougher. But I agree with you. I don't know if I'm going to say she was more of a victim than Johnny. I think what this really does show is how we are all guilty. I think even men sometimes we default to this thought process like, well, no, if you're the male, you must be you must be the problem. You must be the aggressor in this situation. I think they showed everybody like, shit, this woman sounded like she was really tough to deal with. Like,
on an everyday basis.
Recording everything.
Right. Dude, what happened when... Here's the thing. She told this dude from the start, oh, I've got this. When he's like, yo, I'll take it. I'll go to court. You didn't want to listen. She was like, I've got years of pictures of recordings and stuff like that. She was like, I mean, I have all this evidence, mountains of evidence. And she was like, because they were threatening him. If he didn't pay up, they were going to do the TRO, the temporary restraining order, publicize it. The lawyer was coming to him and saying she wanted, what was it? 50? Not 50,000, excuse me. What does she want a month? I don't know if she wanted, she wanted like 50 grand a month. She wanted 3 of his penthouses for her and her family. She wanted his Range Rover. She didn't want to pay any taxes or anything. He had to pay all the utilities and all the bills. That's what she wanted.
That was the deal she was seeking.
That's what she wanted to get paid $50,000
Not
forever.
bad.
Forever.
I'll take
forever.
that. I'll take that too.
Not a bad deal.
No, forever she wanted to get paid.
I'll take that.
Johnny, I'll do it at 25, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Forever.
I want one penthouse and 25 a month. I'm good.
Yo,
I'll pay
but-
my own taxes too. I'm good.
But my whole point was, you can tell she was like, oh, I mean, people think I'm in a fight club. She was literally gathering evidence since they met or whatever, creating this stuff when to basically set him up eventually, because this didn't come to light until he asked for a divorce. When she realized, oh, he's losing money, bro, she had a $500 bottle of wine that she would order every fucking day. Like she would have cases.
You're not going to lose me on that, because even with Johnny not making what he was making, he's good for a $500 bottle. Johnny could have a $500 bottle of wine in the morning, afternoon, evening,
he was a wine dude.
Yeah, he was a wine dude, but I'm just saying, she was living well, okay? She was living off this dude. That's all I'm saying. She was living off this dude, but the plan didn't come into place until he was fed up. He was tired and was like, you know what? You're not what I thought you were. You were made up in my mind. I thought you were something amazing. But he was like, you got borderline personality disorder. That's what happened when they found out, when they went to the Strength together. They went to a therapist together, and the therapist said, she's got this. And he was like, yeah, you got borderline personality disorder. Come to find out, Dr. Curry, and her shit is blowing up, was the psychiatrist that diagnosed her for Johnny's team. Said exactly what she would do, and she did it. When the case was over, she went and did an interview, and it shows it lined up exactly what this doctor said. But anyway, I just, like I said, I thought it was an important case. I thought it was the reason I was like glued to it, because it was something out of a movie.
No, it's definitely a statement piece. It's definitely something out of a movie that like resets, like public opinion on certain things. And I agree with you. I think it was a win for men. The fact that we were able to see, and I think the great thing about it too is I don't think anybody walks away thinking Johnny was an angel. I'm pretty sure her having to deal with him, being incapacitated and not meeting deadlines and just being under the influence, that couldn't have been easy. But I think it also showed how she tried to take advantage of that and use it towards in her favor, and it was just ugly. And like you said, Ray, the fact that she didn't come off as genuine, I don't think anybody bought into it. If maybe you put somebody else in that same situation that had better presence, maybe people don't feel as strongly. But man, she lost big time.
And what's sad is she's an actress.
Yeah, she lost.
She's an actress.
She lost.
She can't.
Time on
she's not memorable. She's not memorable.
But speaking of like another sentences as far as people going to jail, Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 years. How y'all feel about that?
Listen,
Jeffrey Epstein's woman.
I think she should get. She should get as much as R. Kelly, if not more.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's got
way worse.
She was the wingman,
right?
So, you know what I mean? Like
how Kells had people at the door checking, making sure like what was getting snuck in, nobody go back there. That's what she was. She basically was the watch.
She know all the bodies at all the people.
That's where it gets interesting.
I know, right? We talked about that.
I have to believe that she has names, faces, places, dates. I'm really curious to see what comes out of this.
She got the manuscript somewhere hidden in that safe somewhere.
She does. I don't think you run in those circles. Like you would have to really be full of yourself to believe that you're gonna do what you're doing and run in those circles and not potentially get caught. I would have to have like a plan, like a rainy day plan, especially seeing what happened to Geoff. Saying like, he hung himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Geoff said he can't take this no more.
Right, he hung himself. Yeah. No one saw anything. No one was there to stop it. He hung
Geoff
himself.
was doing Ringham and Barnum and
nah, man. I would have to have a flash drive. I'd have to have something like set up, ready to go out. Like, look. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of that.
And that Netflix special on them was pretty good, though.
Yeah, it was. Did you watch that?
I haven't finished it.
Oh my goodness,
it was good.
I started it. I haven't finished it.
Dude had his own island.
He did. Pleasure Island,
and Trump and all these guys went there. Clinton.
I think it was Clinton.
That's the thing. Like,
Trump. Yeah, Clinton, Trump. But they had what's his name? The lawyer dude. The main lawyer who defended Trump on what's his name? The guy from New York.
Giuliani?
No, not Giuliani.
I can't remember.
I can't remember this guy's name. I can see his face, but he always defended. Well, he didn't always defend Trump. He defends everybody, but he was pretty adamant about Trump as far as innocence or something. But he was on that island too. That's crazy.
That's the thing, right? Like, that's how you know it's all like a sham, this political back and forth, whether you're on the right, you're on the left, because behind closed doors, when the fuckery's going down, they're all there together. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all there together.
They are buddies.
It is a buddy system going on behind the scenes. All of this back and forth is for us. To give you the illusion of like you have a choice. Like, it's a sham.
Yeah, don't forget who started the KKK, which Democratic Party. That was the Democratic Party to start the KKK, not the Republican Party. For those who don't know, it's the Democratic Party. But yeah, exactly. Like you said, they're all in the same. They're all sitting at the same table eating, and we're just getting the crumbs. And it's
like, back on that. Wasn't the Republican Party initially the Democrat Party, and then they changed over to the Republican Party?
I believe so. I believe so. Something like that. I believe so. What Raymond's looking? I thought Raymond was looking up facts.
I was seeing that we had a call from PTP.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we're hoping to get her on, but we'll see. Time will tell.
We want to go into.
Do you remember? Oh, sorry, I was gonna say. Do you remember the Alex Jones thing?
Do I remember the time?
Oh yeah, come on.
I was jamming.
No, you don't have the right to sing,
bruh. Listen, he got sensitive. He got real sensitive.
Listen,
hold up.
Michael was.
Hey, watch this. Hey, Raymond, what you saying?
Did I just get muted?
Sorry. You ain't allowed to say. You're not allowed.
Is this cancel culture?
Yeah, I think it is.
Cancel when it comes to that.
Right here at the table.
Sorry, buddy.
Hey, I do the same thing when it comes to Michael Jordan too. When people try to cancel out Mike, I'm like, what, Mike?
You can't cancel out Michael Jordan. You can't cancel Michael Jordan. But did you ever remember going back to? You remember Alex Jones? You guys remember Alex Jones?
Oh yeah, he was the guy who was like a conspiracy theorist guy, right?
He got banned from YouTube. Okay,
which is crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. Even
it's crazy. Yeah,
Farrakhan got banned from YouTube.
Yeah,
Lewis, or wait, what's his first name?
Louis
Farrakhan. But he had, they call it Pembroke. Is it Pembroke? You ever see where all the leaders go to this place in, is it Virginia? All the leaders and the presidents of every president has gone there, and he did a documentary where he snuck into it, and they would do these rituals. Did you ever see that?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
So they would have these orgies and stuff, and there'd be a lot of
wait. Who had the orgies?
All these leaders from around the world would come to.
Hold on. What's this called again?
I don't know. I gotta look it up. Alex Jones. They went into. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I just want you to say what you're saying so I can get the facts straight or get the whatever you're talking about.
Saying Alex Jones snuck into like one of these.
Yes, and recorded. It's on YouTube.
So Alex Jones recorded one of these things.
Yes, it was rituals. So you've heard of blood, stone, or skeletons and bones, or there's a movie back in the day with
like secret
organization. Yeah, it was Secret Society. Paul Walker was in it when he was younger, and it was something called Bones and Skeletons or something.
It was like called like the Skulls.
Skulls, right? That is a fraternity, whatever that is for real, and
for the rich, people, and
but all these people that have become leaders. Bush was in it. They don't talk about what took place, and they literally have they have these sacrificial things they do, or these rituals that are weird, bro.
So
it's almost like the Masons and stuff like that.
Yeah. So let me ask you on that note.
Okay.
Do you think that what you're talking about is more like a fraternity or a group where we're taking a story that somebody's that happens and people exaggerate a little bit to make it more than what it was?
Nah, if you watch it, you'll see.
So someone has video of what actually happened.
Alex Jones has video
and
of it,
and it's 100% accurate because I think he was. I think he also said that.
Is it Oak Park?
He also had the thing in was it Connecticut where the kids got shot.
You're talking about that he was a hoax, and
he said it was a hoax, right?
Yeah.
Was that what was that?
Bohemian Grove. Alex Jones Bohemian Grove. You guys check it out when you can. And he goes in even Joe Rogan. Even Joe Rogan talked about it a year ago.
Yeah, Joe Rogan had him on a few times.
No, he talked about the Bohemian Grove, Watch it on YouTube. You'll see. They go in there and it's bizarre, and they're making these howling noises, and it's almost. But they're worshiping Satan.
But do you see somebody? Do you see people?
You do see people in there,
but do you know who they are?
There's some people you can identify, but you don't see like main people. But there's a lot.
You don't see anybody.
They're covered up. It's almost like Eyes Wide Shut. They're covered up, and there's a lot of, for lack of better terms, you can't cancel me. It's homosexual stuff taking place there. But there's a lot of.
My thing is this: you talking about people who are covered up, and somebody's having a party, or orgy, as you say, right?
Yeah, but we
don't know who they are.
No, but there's presidents that they go there. So here's the thing: it's documented. Presidents have all gone there. They've taken pictures. What not documented what takes place until he goes in there, till they go in there and sneaking, because they've heard the rumors like there's some weird stuff taking place that is not like
So how did he
becoming of a president or becoming of a leader?
How did he get in there?
He snuck in. You got to watch the whole thing from the stuff.
It's not the first time I've heard mumblings about. It's a couple of things that he touched on. The fact that there are these like ceremonies, that rituals that take place. I've also heard that if you go back and you take a look at the last, 15, 20 presidents, that they all belong to some type of club. And as much as it may appear that you have an option, like there is a certain course that someone has to go in order to even be in a position to be elected president. Like supposedly like this Skulls group. And again, I can't confirm.
Weren't they like,
so it's Biden?
Apparently this Skulls club. Like
is Biden in
several presidents.
Is Biden a Skulls member?
I don't know. Biden, I don't think he's any member. He's just Sleepy Joe.
But I'm just saying he's a president though.
No, but here's the thing: Trump didn't go there, so the mold has been broken, right? But I remember they were saying
Obama part of that?
I don't know if he was a part of it, but I know they were saying that Obama was related to Bush or something.
It was like Obama has some type of relationship to
Bush.
Matter of fact,
related.
They say that if you go back and take a look at like the last 10 presidents,
they're all related.
All have some type of relation connection.
It's crazy.
Based on what?
Based on their
like
family tree.
Their
family tree, bro.
From what? The thing that you don't believe in? The
No, not the genealogy. I'm talking about it's actual family tree. You
follow
when you not the blood.
Like
you
grandmother, mother, cousins, uncles. Like they're actually showing you a relationship connection between some of these guys.
Like I said,
again,
the best thing
never been that serious to me.
Yeah, it's never been that serious.
I found a couple of stories where they're breaking it down, actually showing you like the lineage of like, okay, well, this is this one's parents, this is their grandparents, this is their great grandparents, such and such was connected to such, and they kind of take you through the whole weave of how the connection takes place.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm always into conspiracy theories, and here's the thing: the one thing we have that we're losing because of social media is knowledge. The only thing we're gaining now is how to use a filter grade and whatever, but these things, if we research them, man, we'll be shocked. Like, it's almost like it's selected. Like, okay, so you've heard about the 13 bloodlines that run the world. There's 13 bloodlines, 13 families that run this world. So if you look into that, you'll see.
You mean like based on their wealth?
Yeah, based on their wealth and their 13 families.
Like, for instance, like the Waltons.
Rockefellers.
Yeah.
Waltons, all that
people
stuff.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
JP Morgan, all these people that run the world.
Based on their wealth.
Right. Based on their wealth.
Because they have generational wealth. It isn't like just like
based on their wealth and their influence.
Influence. It has not. It's not only wealth, but it's power, bro.
But it's based on generations. Like
but
if you become a billionaire 20 years ago, and you're not going to become you're going to grow.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who's making money now. You've grown that money, and it's going to grow exponentially throughout the years.
Yeah, but the way you're making it sound, it's more corrupt than that. You see what I'm saying? So there's 13 families. Their bloodlines run the world, and it's with power and influence. And if you look at things that have taken place behind the scenes, assassinations and so on and so forth, or having to do with depopulating the world, it's that type of evil. Not like 13 families rule the world, and they just found oil one day. It's more cynical than that.
I think you guys are both correct. Like, I hear what you're saying. You're saying, well, they were able to raise themselves to that position because of ongoing generational wealth. Right?
They had to.
Which then which then put them in a position to gain influence,
right?
Which then put them in a position to be able to make some of the,
because you're not always killing yourself.
No, but you're making it
to get to the top.
No, but you're making it seem like the American dream. I think it's more.
No,
I think it's more cynical than that. No, but the way it's coming across is like that's why the way I'm perceiving the way you're saying it's like the American dream. Like, oh yeah, and it's to me it's more diabolical than that.
I'm just saying, if you were a billionaire 20 years ago, most likely you're gonna be a multi-billionaire in the next 20 years. Right. I mean, you're gonna grow. You're not gonna go down. You're gonna go up.
There's money, and then there's that kind of money.
When you're a billionaire, your influence is different than somebody who works, who's like a CEO. Like your money is totally different.
Right. Like you could become a billionaire tomorrow, and ultimately you still won't have the clout and the standing that these families have.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like these families are, let's say, from the beginning of time.
Yes,
I got you. I mean, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I understand that.
I like I said, I just love I love anything that has to do with conspiracy theories and everything sounds crazy until you actually look into it. Then you're like, oh shoot, let me.
I disagree with you, Reg. I think information is actually more easily accessible today than it was 10, 15 years ago. I think the issue that we run into today is one, people generally don't have an interest because as long as they're comfortable, they don't care.
Yeah.
I think that's one. And two, I think we, like right now, we're so big in the age of like spin and disinformation that sometimes it's hard to tell like fact from fiction. And so like, those are like the two things that really, but as far as like access to information, I can't think of another time frame that we've had information available at the tip of
absolutely
the touch of a key.
No.
It's not that I don't think that we're losing knowledge. The knowledge is there. It's just, do we have the interest and can we sort through the real stuff from the fake stuff?
Absolutely.
It's kind of hard.
No. Excuse me. Let me rephrase it. No, technology, information is here at their fingertips. Like I said, here's the thing. I've told my kids this: you have more opportunities now than I had at my age, than I had 10 years ago, than 5 years ago, because you can literally start a Fortune 500 company with a computer and yourself
in your bedroom.
Yeah, right. with no product, just yourself. Like selling yourself has never been more real or prominent now because you can literally you're the brand. But I was just saying, as far as people being self-indulged in themselves, they're so caught up in. I'm talking about the younger generation. It's everyone's about themselves, that they're not looking outside of themselves to research and look up things like that. You know what I mean? It's more about, how much likes can I get? How much followers I can get? How much subscribers?
Thinking.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by that. But no, as far as technology, this falls right into the Bible, man. Like last days, it said technology was going to come at your fingertips and it was going to be open. And so a lot of things are coming. Whatever's done in the dark is coming to light, man.
Did you hear that one story about supposedly was it like a Google employee that claims that Google was working on AI and it's like what's the proper term? Is it became
conscious,
sentient,
became conscious,
like self-aware? Again, I don't know. I just read.
I heard the thing, but I didn't watch it.
Take me to Terminator, right?
Exactly. Now, right? These mofos, bro. Bro,
that's our greatest gift, though, right? Like our greatest gift,
is
in
us.
my opinion, is our curiosity, our want to be better, our want to accomplish more. But I think we have to understand that there's consequences, right? Like
every
history
time
has shown us that there has
time.
Always been for as great of a discovery as we've made in some instances. There's also been the chaos and the blowback has been equally as great, if not greater sometimes. So there has to be a certain level of responsibility and caution, when venturing into these things.
Well,
but I love the fact that we are a curious species, that we're always striving to improve. I dig that. It's just scary.
Always trying to improve, but we're also trying to play God. That's our thing. Man is always trying to compete with God.
I don't think we're trying to compete with
God. We're trying to clone animals. Well, we've been cloning animals.
We're just trying to become more advanced.
I'm about to say
you don't think so?
I think we're
trying to be more advanced and grow.
I'm about to say not only that,
but everything has a price tag on it.
Everything.
It's not for humanity, right? So it's like
we have a population that is booming out of control. how do you feed that population? You have to have these thoughts. You have to work towards these things. And you just mentioned something. What about, I think I read a story not too long ago where they are there's two things actually.
Okay.
One, I saw where they were trying to use animal organs in humans, which was kind of weird, right? But I also saw where they are trying to use 3D printed parts. Like organs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
I've heard.
How outstanding is that if we could get to a place where it's like, hey, go ahead and draft me up a heart, specific to my body type. And you know what? I get to add 10 to 20 years onto my life. So, like, you have to embrace the curiosity. I don't think it's about playing God. It's about, okay, how can I further improve my situation?
Well, that goes back
that's
to
natural.
It goes back to when Elon Musk was on that Joe Rogan show, and he talking about his plans were to focus on curing blindness and curing Alzheimer's. And he was saying that we're going to be able to use a chip.
Yeah, that'll fix us, right?
That'll make us where, you know how we're talking about stuff, right? And we're trying to remember something and we can't remember. Well, we'll have it hooked up to our, like a phone where you have your memory, and your memory will be expanded where you can get your information like that versus you saying, what was that show again? What was that? You'll be able to do it instantaneously.
Right.
So with that said, we're trying to innovate. We're trying to make ourselves better. And it may sound kind of like we're in some kind of Terminator show or something like that, but
it comes off as a God complex, but I don't see it that way.
Well, here's the thing. There's always going to be people with good intentions and bad intentions. So those who want to live forever and want to move their consciousness into an AI, into a bot, I think there's a problem.
Isn't that remnants from what Johnny Depp? Wasn't that remnants?
But that's not
think so,
fair.
yeah.
That's not fair. Like, so if we take your approach, then we'd still
Or
be living
Keanu Reeves. I think it was Keanu Reeves.
I think it was Johnny Depp.
living in clay caves wearing loincloths. Like,
If we take what approach?
The progress is like not growing.
No. Okay, let me ask you a question. Both of you guys can answer it anyway. So how would you feel about moving your consciousness into an AI?
If moving my consciousness into an AI, and I feel safe about the procedure, and it gives me the ability to immediately download 12 different languages.
Oh, no. I'm saying you
learn
pass
something immediately. I'm all for it.
No, not this. No. I'm saying your consciousness. I'm saying you're past. You've gone, and they've downloaded your consciousness and put it into an AI. You're no longer alive.
Am I helping? You're
not helping. You're your consciousness is in a robot. Well, this is for who? This is your consciousness for your family? Who is it for? I mean, how do you feel about you? Because you're no longer alive.
But it's like when you donate your organs to help man. Like, remember Will Smith and 7 pounds. You're donating to better help humanity.
What is your conscience doing?
I don't know. That would be a conversation we would have to have first.
But I'm just saying, they just download. Basically, it's not you. It's just a carbon copy of some of your thoughts or what you would do or whatever. But it's not you. But you're essentially gone. Your spirit has left the building.
That's a broad question. Like, hey, when you die, can I have your consciousness? Hold on, homie. What are you talking about? It would have to be a point too.
But that's what they're doing now.
Well,
I mean, they've been doing. They're moving consciousness. That's what they've been doing. They've been working on this for like 10 years.
I ain't never heard of this.
That's what he's talking about as far as it's the AI that they're creating is coming conscious, right? But there's people actually, everything they're showing you in movies, we're getting it like late. They're been working to move consciousness.
It's already
robots.
been done. We just catching up.
Absolutely, man.
So I was piggybacking
We're
on
like
what
test
you
panels.
were saying as far as like Elon's thoughts about
fixing
like instant download. And
Right.
As far as like the AI thing, I guess ultimately what the employee was saying is that they've been working on it, and the AI ultimately became self-aware. It wasn't my take. I didn't read all the details of it, so I don't know. But I read that, and my immediate thought is like, if any form of AI is self-aware, that is thrilling and terrifying all at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
And so, like, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, if we want to take it back to fire, I'm pretty sure the first time someone saw fire, it's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. We use fire for almost everything these days.
We do.
Right? Same thing when it was about getting on the ships and going when people believe, like, oh my gosh, you're going to fall off the end of the earth. Like, there is no reward.
Kyrie.
better leave Kyrie alone.
Don't
He got
hate my
enough
boy.
stuff going on, right?
He might be coming to LA. Don't hate on my boy.
Nah, he's good for Brooklyn. He's staying in Brooklyn.
Yeah, there is no
We'll
reward
see.
without some form of pursuit. You know, I think that's just what it is. And we as people have shown that that's how we're built. We're curious by nature. And you know what? Because of that curiosity, we have we have some amazing things.
So let's say, for instance, everything's a test, right? So the cell phone, like we talked about this before. Even Elon said we're basically we're voluntarily cyborgs because we can't function without our cell phone.
Right.
We get anxiety if we leave it. We have to turn back.
I'm not at that place. I can leave my cell phone and be okay.
Okay, well,
No,
the majority of
yeah.
people cannot leave without their cell phone, and it's attached to them. It's a part of them. Their anatomy now, right?
Right.
So let's say, for instance, because this is probably where the AI consciousness is coming or going. So we have the Alexa, we have Siri, we have all these things that help us, right? And then we ask these questions and whatever, because
It's learning us.
it's learning us, right? But
Right.
this is us learning them, like learning to live with them.
Okay.
So this is us giving control to technology.
Okay.
We've already
Voluntarily.
given control to
Oh
technology.
yeah, but this is on a conscious level. This is on a communicative level. Like
So is
we're
it
talking
different-
to it.
Is it different you saying, Alexa, turn off the lights? Or if there's some type of machinery in the corner that you say, hey, Alex, go vacuum the house. It's all about comfort, right?
Oh yeah. It's comfort, but it's baby steps. That's what I'm saying. It's basically the gateway. If it was a drug, it's the gateway opening to
we
it.
know that. We know we lazy.
Yeah, I would say like remove the movies, right? Remove all the termination movies. Let's say this actually goes well. Let's say we actually have a system here that is able to help us create a clean energy source. Let's say we find something here that'll help us, get down to the very depths of the ocean or to the very edge of space. Like this can be a good thing. I know by default we let our fear lead, and the unfortunate thing is, when the people in power are working on these things behind the scenes, we should be scared because history has shown us that shit can go bad.
Quick.
Go bad
Shit
and
can go bad quick.
and it's never in your favor. So if the ones behind it, it's never in your favor. So what are we giving up, guys?
But Reggie, would you rather keep paying Consuela or would you rather pay Bobby the robot?
That's a good question. There you go.
I like people.
There you go.
I like people.
But Bobby don't make mistakes though.
That's right.
He does.
Hey,
he does.
Consuela take breaks.
Right.
This dude, I seen iRobot. No, she doesn't. I seen iRobot, and one day he gonna snap
But there
and
was one
stop you
good
from leaving the
robot
house.
in iRobot.
One, exactly one. It's gonna be
You
one.
gotta find the one.
It's gonna be
like people.
one.
It's like people.
Oh
You
man.
gotta find the right people.
So, fellas, stepping into the other segue into the other topic at hand.
Yes.
Speaking of talking about population control and whatnot, we're speaking on. What do you guys think about the Wade versus Roe being overturned? What are your thoughts on it? I mean, we're men, but we also have children. We have daughters, all of us, and we have significant others, wives. We've had when we've dated. So, Ray, that's single right now. Any ladies out there looking for him? So, what are your thoughts on that, guys? How do you guys feel about it? Do you think it's a setback? Or do you think there's some validity in it? Do you think what's your thoughts?
I stand on more of the side for the woman's rights, man. Definitely. I believe that women should have the right to decide what they want to do with their bodies. That's how I've always felt. As simple as that to me.
Okay.
Now, I know from a Christian aspect, Christians feel like, this is from my point of view, that having an abortion is wrong, which biblically speaking it is. But what about rape, incest? What about let's say somebody back to rape? What do you do then? Like what is your role to do then? What do you have to do? I don't know. I mean,
So this is such a difficult subject, right? Because I was born and raised Catholic, right? Underwent all the sacraments, holy sacraments. You're talking baptism, first communion, confirmation, marriage. did all of that. And I always think there's people don't agree with this approach, but I think there is a fine line sometimes between science and the spiritual side of things, religion.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I think they're often closer than we're willing to remain open to. So with a situation like this, I have the part of me that the altar boy, the born and raised Catholic that should have an issue with this and should be celebrating this decision, but that's not how I feel.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think there's a lot of things that take place sometimes. You've got incest, you've got rape, you've got medical conditions where the baby could cause physical harm, or better yet, the fetus is experiencing irregular growth and it looks like it's either not going to make it, or the quality of life that's waiting for that baby on the other side is something that maybe the parents are not up to, right? So there's so many instances in which having access to proper care is crucial.
Right.
And the one thing that I always try to hold on to from a spiritual standpoint is, if the argument is this is not what God wants, which I won't argue that at all, there's so many other things that we could also be looking at that need to be addressed, right? But it seems like this is like a core issue for a lot of folks. And what I always try to remember more than anything about, whatever God you worship, whatever your religion choice may be, is God gave us choice, right? And ultimately, you have to deal with the consequences of your choice come Judgment Day, whoever you believe in. That's true. Ultimately, if you are going to make this decision for you and your body and what you feel is right for you, I feel like it's not my place to tell you what you should do. I don't believe it's my right to, beat you down with my beliefs, because ultimately that you're going to have to live with the consequences of that decision, whether it may be right to you or not. And regardless of what you believe in, when you meet your maker, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that decision then too, but it's not my place to play judge and jury. Like I am imperfect myself, and I make poor decisions all the time. I could probably think back 20 minutes ago, I probably made a poor decision. So who am I to tell somebody how to live their life? So it's something I struggle with, because like I said, a born and raised Catholic, altar boy, the whole nine, shout out to Our Lady of Lakes. But I feel really strongly about this, that ultimately it should be a female's decision, and we shouldn't be removing the means because ultimately what's left? Are we back to a back alley with some shady doctor putting someone at risk? Are we back to females feeling like so overwhelmed with the lack of options that we're back to wire hanger scrapes to try? It's insane to think that we're in this day and age, and this is some of the things that you potentially have to consider. So that's kind of my thoughts on the matter.
Okay.
So two things. All right. So here's the thing. You saying you just said, I'm going to start with what you just said. You said it's a female decision. Do you think it should be a female decision, or it should be a couple decision?
It should be a couple decision.
All right. That's one. Because it's never been the case. It's never been the case.
But ultimately, I think it still comes down to the right of the female, because the female has to carry that child for 9 months, and the female is ultimately
her body
taking on the stress of that pregnancy.
But here's the thing. In the court system, let's say if a man says he doesn't want the child, what happens? Doesn't matter. It's a female decision.
Yeah.
Even if they know they're not if he's not financially set or whatever, it's put on him regardless. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying, I know you're saying the woman carries it, but the man's going to take responsibility for 18 years, and regardless if he wants to do it or not.
You mean child support? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, child support, taking care of the child regardless.
Right.
So if the guy's like, I can't afford this, whatever, it's never looked upon.
I got what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? The woman has all the power and consideration, financial, whatever she wants to take in place, but it's never the man say, I want to keep that child. He can't go and say, I want to keep it. Let her have the child and I'll take care of it. He doesn't have a say.
Right.
I think that's wrong.
I agree.
I think that's wrong. I think, okay, so the overturn thing, I think, let's say, for instance, if there was something like reform, because, things do happen. But when you have abortions that yours is your 7th or 8th, that's a problem.
Agreed.
I think you're a habitual serial killer now.
Okay.
Because there are people that don't take responsibility and abuse what that system was created for, right?
Well, what's the alternative?
What do you mean? As far
You're
as
going to force someone to have a child, and then that child ends up in foster care, and the foster care system right now is busting at the seams, because unless you're a cute little baby and you're lucky to find someone to take you in, you come up in a system, and ultimately that system probably has turned out just as much bad folks as it is.
No.
So I'm all for whatever we decide is great, but
there has to be a middle. Like, to me, it has to be a middle, because, like I said, if you're going to the club killing it, but every couple years you're pregnant and you're at the damn clinic, man, that's a problem.
You know what else is crazy though?
That's a problem.
Abortion is made. The price of an abortion is cost effective versus adoption. Adoption, the prices to adopt a child is astronomical,
and it's harder.
It's so much harder.
Yeah, so that should be changed.
It should change, because you were talking about $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to be able to adopt a child, and you got to wait years.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Years versus if you want to go get an abortion, it could be done that weekend, that night, that day. That also should have, if they wanted to change something.
And that's my point. My point is, you can't pick and choose what part of the issue makes you feel comfortable, as far as like, okay, well, we've overturned this. I feel better about what we did. Okay, that's great. But what about everything else? What is the alternative? And that's the issue. Like, no one is talking about, okay, what happens next?
Has it made it better?
Right. Have you improved the situation? No, because all you've done is tackled a very small piece of a much bigger problem. Mm-hmm. And that's the issue I have with it. So unless you're willing to address the whole system, top to bottom, like you said, maybe you make adoption more feasible. Maybe we revisit the laws on how much power a female has on what happens with that child. Absolutely. Right? Because you're right.
Absolutely.
Maybe I don't want to have the kid and you do. And then you're able to roll up into child services and say, hey, you know what? I need assistance, and now I'm on child support. But if I want to have the child and you don't, then you know what? Too bad. So sad. And it's as crazy as it sounds, I still on some level respect that, because you know what? The woman is taking on the physical undertaking of childbirth, but it can't be a all or nothing, right? There has to be some type of give there. So that's the issue I have with it. Like, what's the alternative? Like, great. You can't. You return the power to the states. Certain states, I think the last count I had, like, forgot what it is, but there's probably like close to like somewhere in the teens that already have trigger laws in place to make this effective either immediately or 30 days or after like somebody of power signs off on it. But what's the alternative?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can also see too. I forgot the woman. Who was the woman that created the Planned Parenthood, and I believe she was a racist or something. If I'm not mistaken.
She was a racist,
and it was put into black communities, and there
was intent behind it.
Yeah, the status, the actual amount of Terry gave me this number. Statistically, 40% of the black community aborts, and you had what's this guy's ex-wife? Amazon. Bezos' ex-wife put like, I don't know, 10 million or something into that Planned Parenthood to help more of that stuff. I don't know what all Planned Parenthood does.
Margaret Sanger.
Yeah.
Fania Mendel, Ethel Byrne.
Yeah.
Brian.
Damn.
Yeah. So a lot of it was done. I know. A lot of it was done to target a specific race as far as the Planned Parenthood, as far as going to the origins of it. If you look into that.
Well, like many things, that might have been the origins of it, but I don't believe that's what it ultimately I don't believe that that's kind of where it stayed. And whatever the initial plan was, whether it's effective or not, I don't know. But I know that this is something that a lot of women feel very strongly about, regardless of what side of the fence you're on. So, again, it's easy to say, like, okay, like, no, we're returning the power to the states. But what is the fix? Is the fix now that, because here's the issue, right? As is, we've got people complaining about all these families that are being supported by the government, right? Like, oh, they live off of welfare, we're supporting them. Okay, so now how is this decision helping that? If anything, it's promoting further welfare, right? And for a very long time, there was a stigma that minorities, all they do is bear a bunch of children and collect a free check from the government. So, like, which is it? Which is it?
Well, do we want to hear from the people? We got some callers that called in.
Yeah, we definitely do. I just wanted to say, like I said, going back, I think, we as Americans, I mean, women want men to stand up for their rights, and like I said, you have the right to make your decision when it comes to your body. The whole vaccination thing that took place, that put fear of God in people, because you were going to get mandatory vaccination, lose your job. That happened for a little bit. Yeah, people stood up for that. That to me was not great at all. This is on a different level. I understand. Like I said, there's should it be reform to it? Yeah, I think there should be reform, because at the end of the day, if you're doing something to yourself psychologically, if you're a woman and you're constantly just erasing something, like it's nothing. If you throw away life, like I said, if you're habitual, if this is like you haven't learned your lesson, you haven't taken precaution, you haven't, and you just continuously go there.
What's the option though, Reg? Is it
but I'm saying
a female?
No. I'm saying it should be reform. Like I said, like there should be options. Let's say, like, okay, saying, so let's say
what is the reform?
No. My thing is like, so let's say if it was like
she's had 12 abortions, what do you do? So at 13?
No. My thing is like this. So if it's like, okay, they allowed you a abortion.
But his question is, if you had
if they allowed you one, if
you had a magic wand and Shalinda came in here and she's on abortion number 7, and now
she's here for 8.
She's here for 8.
Now it's
and you had the power. You were the person who had the power. What would you do?
8. You sat her down and say, "Look, let me show you what you've done." I mean, 8. This is like you got to keep sorry.
Right. So you sit her down. You say, "This is what you done."
Yeah.
Is she allowed to have another abortion?
Right.
No.
So you say no.
No, man. That's 8 babies, bro.
You have the child.
Okay, so she has the child, and the child either ends up in a situation where there has a mother that resents it, or it ends up in foster care.
But let's put now I'm gonna turn to
the fix.
But now I'm gonna turn the coin.
Yes.
So men get this all the time. So when men have a child and they don't want it, they get, it doesn't matter. You have to deal with the consequences. They're adults. At the end of the day, that's your child you raise. Not everybody's in a perfect situation.
The difference is men take on the financial component more times than not.
But emotionally, no, not really, because men take the emotional thing. Men get emotional. Like here, people. It's the same stigma. It's the same stigma. Like, men don't feel things.
Men don't have a choice. So if you're leaning on choice, more than likely that's the situation where it's a guy that didn't want to have a baby.
No. What I'm saying, as far as when I mean choice, I mean they have no say in it at all. They have no choice in it at all. Well, as far as it's putting the same question on the woman. Like, I'm sorry, you have no choice. Like, hey, if a man has no choice, then you have no choice and deal with the consequences. At the end of the day, it's not that you're going to.
A man could pick up and go across the country and never see that child. A woman has to birth that child, and then has to make a decision. Either she wants to keep it or put it up for adoption. The two are not the same. I agree with you as far as the power of making a decision, but the consequences don't even come close, bro. They are not the same.
I'm saying as far as the reform to it, like I said, you can't sit there and have 8 abortions and not be held accountable.
And what do you do with 9? Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. So you're okay with someone doing like 9 abortions?
Here is the problem,
and her not learning her lesson.
You are providing a number and a consequence to make you feel better. And all I'm saying is,
it's not to make me feel better.
Well, clearly it is, because you feel some kind of way. So my question is, what happens at number 9? How is forcing a woman to have a child that she doesn't want to have, and then take years of abuse and emotional torment to that child?
So why is she up for adoption? So why is she not sterile? So why is she not sterile?
I get.
So then the option is to sterilize her. Is what you're saying?
No. What is she doing then?
Yeah, but that's what I'm asking.
No, but I'm not. I don't have the answer. No, but I don't have the answer. My thing is,
problem.
That's everybody saying we got to have answers.
That's the thing. We need an answer, but we don't have an answer.
But all I'm trying to say is, here's the thing. My thing is this. Ray, you were with me. Great. Jeff, you were. I don't know if you're with me or not. But
I'm with both of y'all.
Yeah, but to me, men have forever have not had the choice. And now women are in this situation 50 years later. No, they're in this situation now. And this is a woman feeling like what a man has dealt with in America. I don't know about any other place.
I wish we had a woman right here, right?
Yeah, well, I'm saying I'm saying, but that's why I try to say it's crazy that this is only a woman's choice.
Where's Amber Heard at?
It's only a woman's choice.
As a man, I either want to have a child and she said no, or I do want to have it, or I don't want to have the child and she says no, or she says yes. Yeah. Ultimately, it's either we're heading towards a place where I want to be a father and she's like no, and then you know what, you're right, I got to eat that that pains me, that lets me know, like,
and it's emotional damage done over the years. Like, let's say for instance you're sitting back and you're 50 and you're like, damn, I could have had a child that was 30 now.
That lets me know, but the thing is, there's still a certain level of irresponsibility there, right? Because chances are, if you guys were working towards having a child and had a conversation, then that's not something that just ups and surprises you. More than likely, that's a situation that was unplanned for or not talked about. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, I hear where you're going with it, but at that point, as a person, you realize like, okay, maybe this isn't the person for me, and you move forward, right? But if she was unwilling to take the chance to roll the dice on me and my child, she's not for me, and you move forward. And you're right, it is about her having the power. All I'm saying is it's easy to
but men don't have
a consequence when there isn't an answer to the consequence.
I understand, but that what you just said is that's what men have to do all the time: eat the bullet or pay the bill or whatever the case may be, because the woman can decide your life or your sentence. They can decide your 18-year sentence, or sorry, I made a decision, I'm gonna live my life, or they can use you as a pawn in whatever situation the case may be. If you're not together, it's because there's so much power given to this one person. I just say that's why I said it should. If we're talking about abortion, it should be a couple thing, because if it took a person to
But the difference is, if a woman is choosing to have a child, she's probably accepted the responsibility that comes with that, whether it comes with or without support. If you're saying that this person has to have this child, the man still isn't getting off, right? Because potentially they're still going to have to pay child support.
I'm saying it should be choice. It should be two choices.
And now you have a woman that has a child that doesn't want a child, and you know what? Who knows what type of trauma or abuse that child's going to go through, because you know what, they were unwanted from the very beginning. I mean,
so that's the problem we've had right now, as far as it caused more of a problem now. There is no answer, no concrete
unless
answer.
You're willing to sterilize people, right? Yeah, that's one. Or if you're going to put them on a number, that's fine. But I'm just saying, it's not fixing anything.
No, it's not fixing anything. But I'm just saying it gets better when you give men rights. When it comes to this, so when you give a man a say-so in this, because then they can make a decision, and then, hey, if it doesn't work out, go to the court, and the court can determine whether, maybe the court determines if the father wants it and the mother doesn't want it.
But it's not like, but it's not like it's going to be like a property where you say, I won't have, and I don't, or you can't sell it.
But that's what they do now
with kids.
That's what they do now
with kids.
Yes, because if the man doesn't want it, whatever, woman goes to court and gets him for child support. He has no say. So how is it different? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm looking at it from a perspective of having a man have a choice. And here's the say. I'm saying if the man wants the child and the woman doesn't, then you know what? They can go to court.
The problem is the man doesn't have the child, right? And so ultimately,
but it's his child because the system will come and say this is your child when he doesn't want the child. So how is it different when he does want the child?
It's not about the man or the woman. It should be about the well-being of the child.
Absolutely.
So if
a man woman wants it, that's the best interest in the child, right?
Right, but now you're asking a woman to give birth to a child that she doesn't want. If the man could have the child, fine. Then you know it by all means have it.
But that's what women have been doing. Having the child that a man doesn't want and raising the child, and the guy's been financially taken care of. So how could it not be flipped over for a man to take over the child and the woman financially support?
You're kind of generalizing because the truth is, like, if you are in a situation where a woman had your child, mm-hmm. and you're on child support, then you know what? You still had to take part in the deed. And so there's some responsibility on your part if you now have a child that you didn't want and you have to pay for. So to put all the onus on the woman is not necessarily fair. And if you're in a situation where you're with a woman that is pregnant and you want the child and she didn't want it and she aborted it, yes, heartbroken, not fair, but you know what? That's also an indication to you, like, that's not the person I need to be with, and you keep it moving.
But it's not keep it moving. If the guy wants the child and the child is born, it's not as easy as keep it moving because that's a life that's gone. That's a part of that person that's gone. So it's not as easy as that. Like I said, it almost placates to the stereotype that men don't have feelings.
The thing is, you want
a man didn't want to grow up and be a father.
You want a 50% stake in something that you don't. You're not the one that's having to undergo the physical torment with.
But we can't switch it when it's convenient because they have the 50. They say you have the 50
so
stake
then how about this?
When the man doesn't want the child, right?
So here's the easy fix.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Here's the easy fix. You talked about reform. Then the reform should be simple. Unless both parties are on board with having the child, then you know what? The child should bear no financial responsibility, and that takes care of that. I have an answer.
See, I agree. That should be that.
Takes care of that. My question is, what's the answer for forcing someone to have a child that they don't want to have?
That's the question. We don't have the magic bullet for that one.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. Like I said, there's so many ways to reform it, but my whole point was men have been dealing with this forever, and I'm not talking about just as far as being not having. We've talked about it, not having equal rights when it comes to family law. Like, hey, sometimes the mother's not the best caretaker. So, just to have it all goes back to, okay, the man's just a good breadwinner and lays a stud, but he can't be a great parent and raise a child.
Agreed.
So that's what I'm talking about as far as reform. And I'm talking about reform. I'm talking about the whole system needs to be reformed. This whole family law needs to be reformed from the ground up. So hopefully, this Roe versus Wade, if people are asking for men to support this as well, then you guys should also support men when it comes to rights. The fathers having rights and that's what I'm talking about. Because we're not equal.
I don't ever see that going down that way. I see
a
situation where
exactly. Well, I'm saying we're not equal.
Force a woman.
No. I was not saying that. I'm saying as far as a lot of things that we talk about, men having more rights when it comes to this shit because they, you walk in the game's rigged.
So would you be okay if they say you need to get snipped?
If you need to get clipped, if you're say you're responsible and you whatever, and
let's say you're on your fourth child and they say, Billy Bob, at times you get snipped.
Well, your fourth child, you talking about aborting?
Yeah, your fourth child, and you're the father of that child. Is it okay for the guy to get snipped?
Well, you're not supporting, or what are you doing? Like let's say you're a deadbeat. Let's give me more. Give me more content to this.
Let's just say you're the father, and you've been agreeing that we should get abortions, right? With the wife, because you said the man should have more power. Let's say the man has been telling his wife
equal.
Let's say the man's been telling the woman that she should have the abortions, and she agrees with her man. So would you be okay if they say, well, this has been your fourth abortion that you've been a part of, you should get snipped?
The man, yeah, if he wants, yeah.
The man, you should be. Yeah. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the man is the one producing. Either one can get it.
Okay,
he can get it or she can get it. They can decide which one wants to go. If they want to do that, yeah, absolutely.
No
choice.
I mean, is that part of would that be part of your reform?
Maybe if they had programs that they paid for it, it'll help with the payment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's ways around it. I mean, there's people that probably want it but can't afford it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's things they can do, like parent Planned Parenthood could do things like that. But I like I said, essentially, I was just being, I'm for women having rights to their bodies, but I'm also going to be the advocate for men here and say, you know what? Hey, let's be honest. We haven't had a fair shake in this at all. And that's why I was bringing that up.
No,
the beauty because people going to sit back. You had your opinion though about men. I mean, what you said is very valid though, because I mean, I don't think of it. I never thought about it from that point of view. As far as if the man does really want it and the woman doesn't, it's usually not that way.
Nope,
it's usually not that way. But if that happened,
there have been instances though.
But it's not. But it's I'm gonna say rare. It's just not common.
Yeah,
not common. But to hear it from your viewpoint is pretty good though. I like that.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know the fix for that, and I don't think there is one.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
there's no bullet. There's no magic bullet. Silver bullet, magic bullet. However you want to put it.
I think the other aspects you can work something on, right? Like for instance, like you mentioned, if I don't want to have the child and you want to have the child, then you know what, you're taking on the financial responsibility.
Well, right? You're taking everything.
But then some people will be like, well, that's still not fair. But then it goes back to like, okay, so I have no power on forcing you to have a child.
Exactly.
And I have no power if you want to have the child and I don't want to have it. So and then the argument, well, you just need to be responsible. Yeah, but it takes two.
Exactly.
Right? So I get
especially when the guy's especially when you're being responsible, because it's like the woman being responsible having the abortion. Like, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, hey, well, I'm not ready for this. I told you this. Right. So you know what? I'll sign my rights and here you go.
Yeah. Then the other flip to that though too is like, if you want to put a number to it, I mean, one workaround on the abortion as far as reform is it could be that for every abortion you get, the price goes up.
Oh,
right. That would also be a way to, potentially, remove incentive or like create incentive to be a little more responsible. Like if every time you had an abortion, let's say the price doubles.
Yeah. And maybe this makes people,
and I don't know. I don't know the answers.
Hold on, baby. Bobby gonna about to be 18,000. I don't know.
Well, maybe it makes people more responsible.
I don't know.
Maybe lessens the sexual transmitted diseases, because maybe people say, oh shit, I'm this because I'm not gonna be stuck.
I'm about to find that serious.
You know what I mean? But, so I'm not going to hold up anymore. But, Ray, you said you had something for us?
So, yeah, I put out on Facebook that we're going to talk about the Roe versus Wade. We're going to try to touch on it.
Okay.
And I was hoping that we can get some female viewpoints, females' opinions, how they feel about it. So I got some people that, send me some messages.
Okay.
So I got some calls. So let me get to that real quick.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, we appreciate you guys calling in, leaving messages, giving us your opinion on this. And don't hate the messenger. We just give we just give opinions. That's all we do, man. We try to make
forgive
people
us,
think.
because this is a male perspective, and if you feel the energy, I think it's because you know what. We have all had some kind of instance, whether it be direct or indirect, with people that we know has really found themselves on the shitty side of parenting, whether they were the better parent, but the courts didn't view it that way, whether they found out years after the fact that they had a child that no one said anything, whether it was the fact that, you had a child and people try to muscle in and accuse you or paint you a certain way. Like, we all have stories, some of them very close, family members, if not, it impacted us directly, where, I know one shouldn't have anything to do with the other, but, as a father, and especially as someone that's trying to be a responsible person, it really hurts when you have to try and prove to both the system and your child, like, I'm here and I love you. And it feels like all other things are trying to
stacked against
something else than that. So, I just take the passion for what it is. It's just love. And, I think we absolutely all agree that this is really about a woman's choice. But you also have to look at it from the standpoint of like, okay, well, there definitely needs to be, maybe need to just look at the system from top to bottom and figure out some things.
And keep in mind these opinions that we have coming on. I don't know what they're saying. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Everybody has the right to
it's their voice. It's how they feel. Yeah.
So here we go.
Hey, Ray. I thought I'd address this issue of abortion two ways. Biblically, first, I find my identity in Christ. I believe in the sanctity of life. I believe that life begins at conception. I believe this because I believe in God and the Word of God. Psalms 139 says, "For you created my innermost parts. You wove me in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you because I am awesome and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully formed in the depths of the earth. Your eyes have seen my formless substance, and in your book were written all the days that were ordained for me, when as yet there was not one of them. So I believe life begins at conception." My husband and I support resources for women here in Daytona Beach on Ridgewood Avenue. This center does not offer or refer for pregnancy terminations or birth control. Information is provided as an educational service and should not be relied on as a substitute for professional and or medical advice. Their services are free and confidential. They have classes, and they support before, during, and after birth. Politically, I had a few thoughts. Most of the Supreme Court's verdict in Roe versus Wade in the original decision rested upon two sentences. They were, "We need not resolve the difficult question of when life begins. When those trained in the respective disciplines of medicine, philosophically, and theology are unable to arrive at any consensus, the judiciary at this point in the development of man's knowledge is not a position to speculate as to an answer." Although those sentences sound both harmless and simple, they were not. The Supreme Court's non-decision was not harmless. It overturned state laws that protected the unborn and has resulted in over 30 million abortions, roughly the population of Canada in the United States. A crucial role of government is to protect life. Government cannot remove a segment of the human population from its protection without adequate justification. Roe versus Wade was a bad decision that needed to be overturned. This decision just returned the abortion issue out of the federal level and back to each individual state to legislate. I'm okay with limiting big government control and putting decision-making back in the state's level. When does a human being become a person? A baby can no more live outside the mother's womb without a caregiver than they can inside the womb. When can he or she live independently? Should terminating their life be legal until they can fend for themselves? This becomes a slippery slope in the decision of when it became okay to terminate the life of an unborn baby. Thanks for listening.
Or you can pause it there.
I love
Hey,
it.
Ray.
She took it to the good book. She took it to the original ruling. You could definitely hear her passion, and she just wasn't someone that was talking about it. She was about it because, she mentioned the center and her and her husband's support. So, I can absolutely identify. Like I told you guys, I'm born and raised Catholic, so I battle with the religious component of this. Definitely, I respect her position.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I do too. I mean, obviously she's a Christian.
Yeah.
And she's with her beliefs first. And she's a woman, so even though she's a woman, but she's going with her beliefs from the Bible.
30, but damn, that number hit, huh? 30 million?
As 30? Far as, is that Canada? That was what she said?
No. She said the population of Canada and America.
30 million population of Canada.
Yeah.
Now, the crazy thing about that is, what does today look like with 30 million additional lives? See,
Dude,
so that's the flip, right?
Dude, there's so much land in America, though, that is undeveloped.
And yet still every major city has a huge homeless population. The cost of real estate is out of control. People can't pay their rent.
That's an inflation problem. That's a governmental problem. That's a lot of things that...
Does that impact you today? When you go to the grocery, when you go to the gas station, when you go looking for a house, does that not impact you right here?
And I'll say, what was her name?
Tina.
I'll say it like Miss Tina said. Hey, you got the Lord, you got all you need.
Well,
he'll take the good Lord, and the good book will take care of you.
I respect that. I do, but I just think that it's easy.
I think a leap of faith is, let's put in your perspective. When you had a child, when I had a child, you had a child. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had my oldest, I was younger. I was in my 20s, but I was scared.
I was debating.
Yeah, I was scared. Oh, you were debating. I didn't know I was going to do it.
That's unfair. Did you always know, though, that you'd have a solid support system? I could answer that for you. I don't even need you to. I could say yes. I know that because I know your support system.
Yeah, but
the same way I know my support system. No two people's circumstances are the same.
I'm saying, but at the end of the day, it's the support system there. But at the end of the day, it's not like.
Oh, dude, don't you dare underestimate the power of a support system.
No, I'm not underestimating the power of a support system. At the end of the day, it's people can say they're going to have your back or whatever, but it solely comes down to you.
Did you ever have to work and figure out how you was going to work and take care of your child and then pay for the bills and do any of that? You may have had instances of that, but that was never your everyday issue or gripe or challenge, was it? That's a real thing for a lot of people. It's a real thing. And again, I'm not saying anybody's position on this is right or wrong. I'm just saying sometimes it's easy to take for granted your circumstances versus somebody else's. And I'll be the first to admit that I could not have asked for, and like you, Ray, when the bell rang and I found out I was going to be a father, I was also very hesitant. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young man. I'm like, am I ready to go down this road? Even though I spent my entire young life raising children, my brothers and sisters, I still had, fears and hesitant and concerns because I knew it was going to be a challenge mentally, emotionally, financially. You know what I'm saying? But all that said, I never once questioned my ability to do it based on helping out my brothers and sisters and also knowing about my support system. That is not everybody's situation, not even close sometimes.
Well, like I said, I don't know if people look at it from a complete perspective, if they can do it or how it's going to impact them personally. Like I don't know if this generation today probably looks at it like what they give up. Or not just generation, any generation, looks like what their life's going to, like what they're giving up, their goals, their dreams, aspirations.
I think they do.
You know what I mean? So it's not like the support system more so is a part of them they're going to have to let go, a part of their dreams they're going to have to let go. You know what I mean?
Did you have those same questions when you found out you was going to be a father?
Which one exactly?
Like, okay, like, wow, what's my life going to look like? Am I going to be able to pursue the same things I wanted to pursue? Like,
I knew I couldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is timeless, Reg. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter if that happened in 2022, 1992, or 1882.
No, but I'm saying it doesn't fall down to the support system. It falls down to how is this going to impact your goals, your dreams. That's what I mean by not like, oh, can I financially do this, or am I ready for this? Am I not where I need to be? So a lot of the things fall in that mindset. Not just, oh, can I do this with help? No, not the help part, but what are you giving up as a person, or a person with aspirations, or a person that is not financially where they want to be, or in career-wise, or have they done a lot of their sowing their oats? You know what I mean? Yeah. So a lot of things like that.
I won't doubt that, but I'm willing to bet everybody's first question is, can I do this? Before you even get to hopes and dreams, like, can I do this? Like, how does my life look 9 months from now? How am I going to work and pay my bills and take care of this child, all doing so? And today's environment is probably a little more is a little more in line because more people work from home. So you could probably pull that off now. But if we're looking
back in the
day where you're like, I got to go into an office, but I don't have like a support system here. So that means daycare in addition to like it
was rough.
It's a real life. I remember spending like almost a G plus in daycare, bro. I was paying more in daycare at one point than I was rent. Like that's real stuff. Like that's real stuff that people. And there was two of us with the support system. Like I'm just saying, like shit is real, man. It is real.
No, stuff is real like that. But I just think also there's that selfish type of me. You know what I mean? Like, not like let me man up or woman up and responsible. It's like, damn, have I lived enough to bring someone into this world? Because I haven't lived myself. Well, so definitely. A lot of that comes into play. Like, I haven't traveled. I haven't done this. Oh, man, I'm not going to be able to play, hang out with the boys or play this or go have girls' night. So all this, your circle changes too.
It
Does
does.
factor in you people that are single and whatever don't come around no more because they're hanging out with single people
Because you got babies and they don't.
exactly.
You
So
got
your
responsibility.
so your world changes, your circle changes.
Next caller?
Yeah, I was gonna say but that was really good. Thank you for that, Miss Tina. Right?
That was beautiful.
Yes, thank you, Tina.
Yeah.
Well said. Well thought out. Now, this one's going to be, it's two of them because I think she stopped or whatnot, but let's go.
My name is Carolyn Freeman. I'm a resident of New Orleans, Louisiana, in a state that has just outlawed abortion. In a
Can you
city
pause that real quick?
that is just
I'm sorry. Does she that sound like she's running for office?
She did
Yo.
come in with a very kind of regal energy.
Yo,
about
she
her.
just had that cadence too. She was just like, "My name is Thing. I'm running for the
But
office." And da-da-da.
I don't want to make light of it.
I'm not gonna make light of it.
I hear the passion in her. This
I'm
is very important.
I think
to
the
her.
point of her, I think the point of her doing all that is to let you know that
She
she's
means
not,
business?
She's not afraid.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah,
No,
not afraid.
absolutely.
yeah.
No. But hey, listen. This is Bro-RantZ. I'm sorry. You should have known who you're signing up for.
Well, nah, we got to show her the same respect we show.
I'm
Tina.
giving her respect.
We-
I'm saying she sounds
We
legitimate.
had no commentary for her.
Bro, she sounds
start all
legitimate.
over.
Yeah,
I'm
start all
start all
over.
over.
I love her voice. I love the way she came on. I'm gonna be quiet now, but I loved it. I loved
shut
it.
down. My name is Carolyn Freeman. I'm a resident of New Orleans, Louisiana, in a state that has just outlawed abortion, in a city that has just shut down its only abortion clinic, and I am terrified of the attack on women's bodies and rights. There's a meme going around social media that uses the metaphor of camping. Someone offers to take a friend camping or get an abortion in another state and says they don't ever have to talk about it, ever. How tragic to never ever feel comfortable or in a safe space in society to talk about it. For society to make you feel shame for wanting to talk about it. I've been talking so much with friends about the fact that it's hard enough to make a decision whether or not to have an abortion if a woman finds herself in this position, or really deal with many of the changes and experiences a woman's body goes through during her lifetime. Menstruation, PMS or PMDD, pregnancy, possibly abortion, and then to be pressured to be silent about it all, well, that just rubs salt in the wounds. Going through it is one thing, but silence is death. Death to your mental health, your spirit, your happiness. I think the fact that women are so scared to talk about their feelings about it or whether they've had it or anything is the tragic part. And you know what else? If they do talk about it, women feel as if they should say, it's the worst thing I've ever had to do. It was traumatic. I have so many regrets. What if a woman does not feel this way? What if they are confident in their decision? If done early enough in pregnancy, and abortion can be likened to a heavy monthly period. I certainly know women who have excruciatingly painful and heavy periods every single month. At the same time, I know women who've had abortions and it has caused little physical discomfort. If done early enough, it can be done through prescription drugs without a procedure. Does that have to be traumatic for everyone? Why should a woman have to feel ashamed or be made to feel as if they should have regrets? Of course, it is very personal, and of course, it is extremely sensitive, and it is not easy. But to require a woman to express shame or regret, no, it is a uniquely personal experience, and I believe we should honor any emotion a woman experiences, both positive and negative. So if I were to take you camping or to get an abortion in another state, it's your choice whether to talk about it or not. Just shout it from the mountaintops if you want. And I will support you no matter what you choose. No judgment, only love.
Wow. That was like,
I don't know, man.
two very powerful statements, even though they have conflicting views.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about that. Because I don't know if there should be any. I don't know, man. Maybe I mistook it, but I don't know if she was talking about. So I know your feelings are your feelings, but should there be any gratification from it, or I don't know if she was pedaling towards that, or because I know the shame part of it, but I don't know if there's any happiness in this.
See,
I don't think she was saying happiness. I think she was just saying that,
or liberation, or I don't know, but
It's your choice.
Right.
No, it's her choice, but the emotion she was saying, like, it shouldn't be shamed or it shouldn't be whatever. Like, not every experience, whether it's positive or negative. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I can't speak on it because I'm not a female, but I think where she was coming from is like there's a stigma that's attached to someone that's had an abortion that you're either made to feel you feel like you can't really talk about it, or you're supposed to feel some type of shame. And I think what she was saying is if you're someone that you were responsible, at least in the approach of how you went about your abortion, and you just knew that for you that was what you needed, that's where you were at, and you just knew that you weren't at a place to provide any more than that, then you shouldn't walk around feeling shameful because you did what was best for you in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And I hear where she's coming from.
Do you think it should be announced? Do you believe it should be announced from the rooftops?
No, but I think that you should be able to talk about it without feeling shamed or judged.
No,
If we were held accountable for every poor decision that we made, whether it was viewed, whether it was within public opinion or not, then you know what, life would look different for all of us. I think all she's saying is like, hey, if this is what you did for whatever reason you did it, and you know what, you shouldn't walk around carrying this badge of shame, especially if you feel confident in why you did it and you knew that was the best thing for you at that time.
I think she's trying to avoid the reaction you giving right now.
Which was what?
I don't get it. Like, shouldn't she feel that way? Like that? Like,
it wasn't. No, I didn't get. Like, she was saying it, and it was the conflicting thing for me was I was trying to understand, but going back to I'm spiritual and whatever too, but to me it's like when she was like, oh, it shouldn't be ashamed, or and that there shouldn't be whatever, maybe there's some shame to it, maybe there's not, but when it seemed to almost seem like there was a celebratory type of feeling that should be associated with it, that's what I was like, is that what she's leaning to? That's why I said I didn't get it. I didn't know if she was leaning toward you can be happy as hell or you can be sad as hell, it's your choice. I was just like, I don't know who's going to be ecstatic is what I'm saying. But I don't know what that's what I said. I didn't know if she was leaning toward that because she didn't really like,
that was my takeaway.
She didn't really like clarify it for me.
I don't think she was trying to say you should you should celebrate it. But I think she's just saying, like, if that's your choice, that's your choice. Right. And you should be able to say, yes, I had an abortion. And that's what I wanted to do.
Right. Yeah, but I don't
versus did you have an abortion? Well, I really shouldn't talk about it.
You can't talk about it and carrying around lifelong shame.
Well, statistically as far as the 30 million and how society is now very open about things, I don't know if that's how they approach it these days anyway.
No, you're wrong. There's still a stigma that comes with abortions. There is.
For the younger generation?
Absolutely.
Because the younger generation is pretty open.
Bruh.
But the thing is, the younger generation doesn't necessarily always. The crazy thing is, the younger generation's issues don't usually come from the younger generation. The younger generation's issues usually stem from the older generation that still has their views on how the world should work and how things should happen. So you're right. Against their peers, they may be fine, but you know what? There's still a healthy part of the population that, are from older generations that still have certain views on things. So, yes, you're still subject to public opinion and a lot of it.
Well, I would say I think it's more accepting these days from your peers, from their peers. Exactly. Maybe not their parents, but here's I don't know about, depending on the parents these days, but go ahead.
I was going to say, like what you just said just now, you're trying to say from the peers. I don't think you would go out and I don't think it would be appropriate to go out and, I don't think they would feel like it's appropriate to talk to you with your friends. Unless they brought it up. But I think what Carolyn was trying to say was that you should be able to say it without having to worry about some blowback versus with your peers where you feel like you can't really say it because you're worried about how they're going to perceive you as a bad person.
Okay. There's some shame too, and it's the same.
There is going to be some kind of emotional pain to it.
Oh, no. I would say there's some shame too. Do you remember the stigma where younger people would say that they're pregnant and it'd be that shame as well too, right? So it's crazy. It's borderline the same type of reaction, right?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Like I said, it's interesting. Yeah, it was an interesting thing. Thank you for that, Caroline. Like I said, I'm just trying to understand what you were saying. You're saying scream from the rooftops. Yeah, you can definitely be confident in saying,
or maybe,
and have your support system. Maybe, but it's not. You know, to me, it's
maybe if she listens to the show, which she does sometimes. I hope you do. Hey, listen to the show. Maybe she'll hit us up and elaborate on what she
saying. Definitely elaborate. Don't because I'm just trying to understand. I'm not. My thing is, it's no one. Basically, it's your story, right? So it's your story. Whoever you choose to share it with. I don't think a woman or a man should have to.
Your story doesn't mean you're not subject to somebody's public opinion of it, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we don't all spread our skeletons just at everyone. We talk to, you know, it's always done on a level of trust with whomever we're speaking with. So I won't go to my neighbor and say, "Hey, dude, I just did this." You know, we all have a different relationship with certain people that we trust with certain things. So, you know, to me, I don't think a woman would be screaming to the rooftops just to anyone. I mean, when you speak this, it'd be your circle. It'd be your friends. And if you want to talk to a younger person and influence their decision or help them make the right decision, I don't see any shame coming from that. Like, you know, you trying to help a young person that's in a situation you probably were at that age.
All right.
So anyway, thank you again, Carolyn, right? Or Caroline? Carolyn. Thank you. Thank you. And like I said, you made some great points.
I don't think she's running for office.
Yeah. No, she definitely has a good speaker voice.
Very regal, yes.
She
absolutely.
should.
Okay.
She should consider it.
Here's the next one.
I'd come out to one of your rallies.
I would, just to hear your voice.
To Roe versus Wade, here is my thoughts. I am pro-life, not just because I'm a Christian, but also because I consider all life valuable and worth living. If a woman decides to have an abortion, it is her choice, but mandating each state to be forced to allow such facilities to be available is, in my opinion, taking it a little bit too far. There are many procedures that insurance does and doesn't provide authorization and ease of availability to, and the federal government doesn't force insurance companies to make them available. As a woman, I don't believe our choice has been taken, but our convenience has been disrupted.
Whoa, Mike, drop. That was powerful. Shit. Wow. Damn. I mean, you can look at it from that perspective in wow, convenience. Yeah. Wow. I mean, that was short but so impactful because she said a lot in just a little. Wow, man. Geoff, you want to comment on that, or Ray?
So I love the way she phrased it, and she's right. Like, the choice hasn't been taken away. Some of the convenience has. Mm-hmm. But looking at that convenience, again, for me, it's always about the end result. And maybe it's just the way my mind works. Maybe I'm too logical and, you know, I overthink things. But I guess ultimately, where is the win? Like, where's the progress in someone having to travel 5 hours from the state that they currently reside to another state to have the procedure, if the procedure is still available? So, like, I guess I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the end game? What's like, where was the success? Is it just so from a state standpoint, you could say, well, hey, this is our position on it, and I guess maybe so, you know. But I agree, like, very powerful and very, very well put.
Yeah, I mean, she made a valid point where the government makes more, doesn't make other procedures available for people, which that shit makes sense.
Yeah, she basically, I mean, she understands.
Yeah.
She's pro-life, but she understands that with this decision, it does kind of mess things up, but it doesn't really, how she put it is that it doesn't just it doesn't make it so it's just easy to go, you know, do it like going through a drive-through or something.
Yeah,
that's the way she kind of put it.
Make it convenient. Like, oh, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Just make it.
But it is if it's a state that continues to support it.
Well, yeah, if it's a state that continues to support it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I know it's all up there for me, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you are in one of the states that continue to support, then nothing's changed.
Right.
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 Yeah, and maybe it being an inconvenience makes people have a longer thought and a process of thinking about it to come to a very sensible, decision whether to see how it really impacts them versus just making a decision based off of fear.
I 100% prescribe to us, like people like us, being better, making better decisions, and being accountable. All of that said, do I believe that this decision is going to carry some type of significant impact on how people conduct themselves? I don't think so. Especially when you have companies coming out saying that, well, hey, we will support, any type of travel expenses needed to allow you to go somewhere to have the procedure done. So I think you are who you are, and there are some instances, whether it's medical or it's unforeseen, but I think if you're the type of person that you're just out there and you're throwing caution to the wind, this doesn't change anything for you. You're going to continue to move how you always moved. Yeah. It just means maybe you got to travel a little farther now to deal with the consequences of your actions.
So thank you, Hope. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
She had a great
her name is Hope.
Oh,
very.
Have we spoken to Hope
we had
before?
Hope on before?
We spoke to Hope before.
No, I thought we did.
Nah, we spoke to Grace. Grace, Faith.
As a matter of fact, they are sisters.
That's what I thought.
Their names are Hope
and Faith.
Grace and Faith.
Oh my God!
Who did we talk to that had the two boys?
Totally kidding.
That's Faith.
That was Faith. Right?
Did I just say it was Grace Faith?
Yeah,
I told you. I was just kidding.
They sound similar though.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, like you said, it's not going to change the way certain people are. But like I said, maybe it saves. Maybe it makes people, like I said, the inconvenience. Maybe some people that are traveling out of state have a second thought because the fear subsides and they start thinking, well, what if I can do this, versus the fear of, have the first initial thoughts. You never know, man. Anyway,
it may make people think before the act.
Yeah, because you have more time. Because you have more time to think versus you make a decision. You find out on Tuesday. You make a decision for Friday, and
well, I meant before you lay down.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Before you lay down, you might think a little bit different.
That's what I said.
Where they have like a pill now that men can take.
They were making one,
right? I thought I read something recently.
Yeah,
they're making something for men that you take it and it's like a form of birth control.
Yeah, they're making something like that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We should.
Yeah.
All right. Imagine the next one.
Go ahead, Reg. I can see
what you getting ready to say?
What
you getting ready to say?
Equal parts here. Would you take the pill,
Just
Reg?
imagine all the women are like, oh, no. That had plans.
He's going to get cut.
All the gold diggers.
Please.
Imagine all the entrapment women and gold diggers are like, oh, no.
Like, I'm pregnant. Like, wrong. I'm on the pill.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine them like taking the guy's birth control pill? No, you don't need this today. The fuck I know. It just ruined. It would put
it's yours. I took my pill.
It'll put a fucking wrench in their plans. Like, could you just imagine? Like, this is the guy's payback. You know what I mean? This is like, fuck you. Like, right. Oh, you're not taking yours? I'm taking mine. Yes. I'll see you in 20 minutes when this shit dissolves. Right. I'm just saying, yeah. Payback.
You think you got me, but I already took my dose of
exactly.
Not today.
Exactly.
All right.
Sorry.
Not today. From God, not today.
Not today.
Look, it's yours.
That's what you would call it.
It's yours. Hell no, it ain't. I've been using this for a whole month. Right. That ain't mine. But what I found out is, use a hoe. No. Kidding.
Definitely gonna have to edit that out.
Okay. Yeah. Use a liar. There we go.
Use a lie.
All right.
Okay, Ray. So I'm gonna give you my opinion on the Roe versus Wade and how I feel about what's going on. Being a woman and having 2 children, I wanted both of my children. And I think that trying to take that right away from a woman where she can't make rights regarding her body is part of her constitutional right. It's part of the 14th Amendment. It's part of the due process. You should be able to do whatever you want with your body. And it takes 2 to tango. So there's women out there that don't believe in abortion. That's fine. There's women who do believe in it. I believe in someone being able to make their own decisions for the best interest of their personal beliefs and their body. I have 2 children, and I almost died twice. With my son, first and foremost, I had a high-risk pregnancy. The doctor knew it was high risk. Instead of delivering my son early so that I could have a safer and vaginal birth, he had me go past my due date. The father of my son is 6'7". I'm barely 5'1". I'm very small and petite. I almost died the day I had my son. We both almost died. We were both in ICU, and I literally blacked out on the operating table. And I was literally throwing up as they were cutting me open. I was so sick. And he got out of ICU before me. And then with my daughter, it was not a high-risk pregnancy. But after the delivery, it was a C-section. I started hemorrhaging, and I didn't know I was bleeding to death. The nurse had came in at the right time because I was almost about ready to go to sleep forever. I could not keep my eyes open because I was losing too much blood too quickly. So I couldn't imagine being in a situation to where, even though I wanted my children, I couldn't imagine being in a situation to where if I were to get pregnant, the condom were to break, or I was raped, or, incest, or, just some crazy scenario that I couldn't have an abortion. That is insane. And I have had abortions. I'm not going to say how many. My mom had a history of when bringing, I think it was my older half-sister into this world, she almost died with trying to deliver my older half-sister. So sometimes there's medical diagnoses that are missed. They're not found until later on because the mom appears to be healthy, no type of medical condition, no existing medical conditions, and women will die. Having a baby is very, very hard on the body. And, women are just so amazing being able to bring children into this world and breastfeed. And, women are so strong. It is said that a woman can tolerate pain 3 times higher than what a man can. So we're very pain intolerant. So I couldn't imagine a woman feeling so desperate because she can't have a baby because she was raped, or there was incest, or she lives in a family where they'll disown her, or for whatever reason that she's going to put her own life in danger to travel and to have an abortion in a very unsafe and dangerous way where the infection can kill her just because she's having it in an alley or in Mexico or TJ or whatever it is. I could not imagine that. What has this world come to? This is the United States of America. We have the Constitution for a reason. And we also have the freedom of speech. And we also have the right to make decisions. A woman has the right to make decisions about her body. I am not government property. And it makes me sick to know that they're just trying to take rights away. And it kind of starts with the man. A woman just can't make a baby. It literally starts from a man, and a woman turns it into a baby. So what are they going to do with men? Are they going to go around sterilizing everybody? I mean, because it's not like guys like to wear condoms, and, even if there was, and there is birth control, you think men are really going to do the work? Hell no. And it just sucks. There's going to be so many unwanted children and poverty and kids that are going to be in foster care. I'm definitely against long-term pregnancy abortions, but when it's early enough, it's the woman's body. My personal opinion, anything under like 15 weeks, 14 weeks, a lot of the time, and I can speak for myself, you don't even know you're pregnant until you're sometimes 6, 8, 10 weeks pregnant. You don't even know. If you don't have enough HCG in your urine, it's going to keep coming out negative when you're pregnant. That happened with me with both of my children. I was already almost 2 months pregnant, and the tests were still telling me it was negative when it was really a positive. So it's just a sad day. It's really scary because it makes you think what's to expect ahead of us. I definitely am against it. I'm pro-choice. I respect other people's opinions. But this is the United States of America, and I think it's absolutely horrible So that is just my opinion. I just wanted to give my thoughts. But very, very sad day. Thank you.
Yeah, you said her name was Renee?
Shanette.
Shanette, I just have one quarrel with you on, you said that, it takes two to tango, and if men won't take the birth control, you got to factor in sometimes, there's a percentage that women are on birth control pills, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't take it, and men trust the women to do that as well. So there's a lot of women that don't keep up with their birth control pills. So to just put it on the man that he won't be able to do it, or the man, there's two sides to the story, is all I'm saying. So you can't just put it on the man it can't just be on the man because the man didn't put on a condom and the woman says that she's on birth control and she doesn't follow through on the birth control. Mistakes happen on both ends. So it can't just be placed on the man is what I'm saying. So that's my gripe with you on that. But, kudos to you for having your children. And the mistake, too, was definitely with your doctor making you have that high-risk pregnancy. That's definitely wasn't cool.
Hello, my name is Leticia, and I appreciate the invite and letting me join in on this topic. Overturning Roe versus Wade was a sad day in America. Women are still going to get abortions, but they're not going to be done safe, and women are going to die. The treatment for an ectopic pregnancy is done with abortion, or a miscarriage that the body won't release is treated with an abortion, or a septic uterus is also treated with an abortion. So just picture a doctor weighing the pros and cons on whether to save a woman's life because he cannot perform an abortion. Personally, I'm a cancer patient, and I know many cancer patients who physically cannot carry a baby full term because of this disease have no other choice but to get an abortion, and that has now been taken away from them. So again, overturning Roe versus Wade was a sad day in America and a major setback for women's rights.
She took it to the medical aspect of it.
Yeah,
didn't even think of that.
That's a Honduran Softail.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's right. You were saying that.
Yeah, she's a cancer patient.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with the chemo coming up, she'll be doing and the radiation therapy she'll be getting better.
I still follow you, girl. I love that bike. I hope you're doing well.
She has children?
She's got her kids riding bikes now.
Oh, really?
Nice.
She has kids. Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Yeah. Well, two of them are riding bikes now. Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Really, one rides a bike. The other one has like a little mini bike, moped type.
Okay, if it's electric and it's got two wheels.
Yeah.
Working way up.
Hey, there's nothing like it. Hey, man, I don't know if you ever rode before. You ever rode a bike?
Nah, I'm never going to ride a bike.
Why not? Jeff and I have.
Scared, man.
Nah, bro. It's nothing like it. It's freedom.
It is, but I respect that. It's one of those deals that if you go into it fearful, usually nothing good comes out of it.
I've seen
like you have to make your peace with it, and if you're unable to do that, I think that's the safest thing is to just be like, all right, this ain't for me.
It's not. Like I know, like for instance, I follow sports, and Jason Williams was like a great basketball player out of Duke.
Yeah.
Came out of Duke. Great player. Second year, the summertime, he had an accident on his bike. Has never played basketball. Well, never played in the NBA ever again because of that injury from the bike. I told you the story about my friend growing up, right? About how Jimmy lived on the corner, went to go visit Jimmy, his brother outside. Brother was limping. He had on those booty shorts from back in the day. There were short shorts people wear. And I said, yo, Joey, I said, why you out there? Why you outside walking like with a limp? And then he goes, I fell off my bike. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he turned to the side, and I was able to see a good view of the side that fell. And it was road rash from shoulder all the way down to the ankle. And for me, as a young kid,
that's all you needed.
That stuck me right in the head up here. It burned in there like his road rash. It burned him.
Yeah.
It burned in my head. And I said, I'm never riding a bike.
And then you got to get that scraped.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh, it was nasty.
Yeah, I mean,
So there you go.
Fair. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Fair is fair.
I'm sorry.
Everything you can get hurt in a car accident. It's just how you look at it. It's your perspective. I mean, if you're a safe driver, I think I put it into if you're a safe driver, you're going to be a very cautious motorcyclist.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you think nobody would hit you on a bike and it'd be worse than a car?
Well, I'm a defensive driver, so I'm always on the offense and defensive.
I think that there's fear and then there's fear. So, like, I guess what I mean by that is, like, if you're a person that you're uneasy on the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a deep fear of water. You may go out there, but you're never going to be at peace with it. And I guess that's what I'm saying. If it's one of those deals that you do, you're never going to be at peace on a bike, then I agree with you. You know, it's one of those things, just in my opinion and what I've dealt with and my own personal journey with it, if you can't make your peace with it, it's just much smarter to walk away and leave it alone, because the consequences of indecision or fear, like you said, that's that full side body scrape that you saw. That's what's waiting on.
I don't know if it was the full body scrape or the booty shorts.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that didn't help.
He was like, "Wait, you got to ride booty? You got to wear booty shorts to ride the bike?"
Probably still got them scars.
I can tell you this: if you could give me like the nicest Harley, and it would be sold, I would sell it that same day. The same hour.
So it doesn't matter if it's a sport bike or even if it's a cruiser.
I think the cruisers are safer.
No, it's a bike.
More comfortable.
It's a bike.
It's a bike, and people die on bike week and they ride on Harleys.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I tell you this: one time during bike week, I was in Orlando, and I was coming out of the Wingstop in Orlando, and I saw the bike coming, and I have pretty good depth perception. I do.
Yeah.
I thought I did that day, but I turned out right in front of him, and he kicked my car.
Wow!
And I rolled down the window and I said, "My bad," because it was my bad. Because I don't know why in the world I could not tell how far away. Usually I'm great at that.
Still, the fucker shouldn't have kicked your car.
Yeah, because he almost died.
Nah, he shouldn't have kicked your car, bro. That's assault.
Listen,
I don't care. That's ridiculous.
As a person who almost died. Hey, I was like this, dude. My bad. You could have kicked. I don't even listen.
Nah, I'm sorry.
I'm good with that. I was good.
Sorry, that's why we have rules and shit. Nah, you can't damage someone else's property.
Well, he didn't damage it, but listen, he almost died. I almost killed that dude. I would have been in jail.
Well, here's my only problem with your story. Why did you have to mention to people that you left a wing house or the wing? The wing
He's always
hut.
Promoting Wing House.
Yo, the wing hut. What do you? God damn it! You always gotta live. We gotta live in that stereotype with Ray. Like, come on. You can believe in Carrabba's or Cheesecake Factory.
Ray loves some Wing House.
He was like the wing stop. What?
Actually, I love Hooligans, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, thanks.
You're right. It was Hooligans. My bad. I'm confused. It was Hooligans.
Yeah,
I'm a Hooligans.
I could just imagine what the motorcycle guy said. He was like, "You finger licking just imagine.
You almost killed me over chicken.
Over some chicken.
Kill me over some chicken, bro.
So, hey, I love them wings,
A 20
bro.
piece?
Love them wings.
Yo, Ray should just blamed it on his
curly
fingers
curly fries.
slippery. You said you got one more for us?
I got two more.
Two more? All right, let's hear it. Let's
All right,
hear
here
it.
we go.
Finger licking.
To the Roe versus Wade overturn. My thoughts is I agree with the decision. I've never been an advocate for abortion. I am a Christian. I also am a single parent. But outside of my religious beliefs, my personal beliefs have always been that we do have a right to choose. However, my choice isn't at conception. My choice is at the moment that I decide to lay down with someone. At that moment, I have decided and made the choice that I could be raising a child with this person. This person could be a potential father. And I've contemplated all those different ideas. I do also feel that if we are going to make abortion illegal, then we need to also be in support of help. With that being said, I think that we need to support families that do decide to adopt. I think that the adoption process should be a little bit easier. I think that families that are adopting should be a lot more financially supported, so that if a woman or a family decides that they do want to go the adoption route, that that's something that should be supported for families that do decide to take the children in. I do think that also that we should support our single family homes a lot more. I am a single parent, so I do know the struggle of that. But I think that it would be unfair to say that, we're going to make it unlawful for you to abort. However, we're not going to support and provide aid and assistance for you to be able to keep your child if you choose, or provide a family that would like to keep your child.
That's what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, that's what we've all been talking about. Yeah. It's easy to make a decision and implement a consequence, but you need a fix. You need it. And so it's easy, like whether you're doing it for moral reasons, whether you're doing it because of your religious beliefs, that's all well and good. But there has to be some type of support system in play if you're going to say, no, you can't do that and you have to do this. I just, otherwise we're right back to the same conversation we had earlier, which is like you're looking at an uptick in potential child support, right? You're looking at additional strain on the system, right? Because that's an uptick in welfare. In addition to that, you're also looking at children that if they're not coming into, and I don't want to use an ideal situation because not many people have an ideal situation, but if you're not coming into a loving, nurturing situation, what does that look like 18 years later? You guys, what I'm saying? So like, if it's fine, if that is the choice that is being made, then you know what? Where's the support? And that's the issue. I still believe that everyone should have the choice to do what they want with their body. But if you're going to overturn that, then there should be conversations about, okay, well, what structure can we put in place in support of how we feel about this?
Well said.
Yeah, I think she had a very thought out answer, and like we were just discussing, it sounded like she had the reform we were talking about and making an incentive to keep a child.
Right.
And if you plan to keep them, you're single, to give you more help. And if you
more resources,
more resources, and if you want to adopt a child, to give you more resources. So yeah, she sounded like it was an answer for everything. And maybe that is a route. Maybe there's.
But then you're back to people like, oh well, we're taking care of them and they're bleeding the system and they're just making kids. So it's kind of like it's this weird, and I agree with that too. I absolutely think there are hardcore people that manipulate the system all day, all night, and we've seen it. We know some of these folks, but like,
did you say we know some of them?
We do.
I hope we don't.
We do, right? But
I got stories for days.
But that's not everybody, and it's unfair to lump everybody into that same category.
No, but if we can cough up 40, like I said, 40 billion, 80 billion, however much we've sent over to Ukraine.
No, don't even get me started.
We should be able to take care of our own here, and that goes down the line from vets to the homeless.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much. You even have
madness?
public school. You're talking about there's kids that just the only time they eat is Monday through Friday.
Isn't it madness that there are still people that are starving in parts of the world, parts of this country,
in America?
It is madness.
But we can print money.
That's even still a thing.
But we can print money at the drop of war.
Yeah,
but we won't do it to feed the poor.
It was always in Tupac's song.
Yeah,
was the exact topic.
Was always been big business.
Money, big business, business.
I wondered what was her name one more time. I'm sorry.
She never said.
She didn't say.
No,
okay.
She didn't say. So we don't announce it.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know who that is. And you guys have already said her name.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Well, Fate. So thank you, Fate.
That's not Fate.
I want to shout you out because
Grace.
In addition to just providing a perspective from both a spiritual standpoint and as a single mom, touching on the fact that, we need to revisit our resources. I love the fact that you took it to, when the responsibility actually begins, right?
Absolutely.
And there's debate about, when there's actual life, when there isn't really life. And you took it to the moment of the act, which if everybody led with that thought process, we'd probably be in a better place. So shout out to you. That was heavy knowledge you just dropped. Mic drop for you, girl.
What you used to have like the sounds, but you don't do that anymore.
I don't get him started. He forgot. It's been a while.
This was a serious topic, so you know what I mean?
He forgot. Don't have him ear horning now.
Nah, this was a serious topic. I was trying to be serious, fellas.
No, but I got you. Yeah. All right.
You know what I mean?
No, that was mic drop, though.
You want me to get to the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Grace. We appreciate you.
Greetings. I was personally happy that the Wade versus Roe was overturned because I do a lot of social services, and I have a lot of girls that, you know, talk to me, and I give them advice, and sometimes the relationships can get, you know, personal, where they come to me for advice and tell me a lot of different personal things that's going on in their life. And so in my opinion, it's become a trend, if that's the word that I can use, where or abortions have become like a go-to. So maybe trend is not the word, but like a go-to. It's like, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, I'm just going to get an abortion. You know, 3 months later, oh, Miss, you know, Latasha, I'm pregnant. Oh, I'm just going to get an abortion. And so I've known some girls who have, like, you know, spoken to me about being pregnant and just, you know, getting abortions. And I'm like, hey, you know, let's talk about some preventive measures, or, you know, self-love, your body and all that kind of stuff, versus just, you know, just getting pregnant and just having an abortion. Like, let's think about some of the effects of that, and other things that comes with abortions, which is, you know, could be depression or guilt and stuff like that. And so I was kind of honestly happy that it's overturned. I know I'm probably in the lower percentage of people that feel this way, but I don't know, obviously not, though, because it was overturned. So maybe I am the majority. I don't know, but I know I'm the majority with a lot of my friends and associates, because I've, you know, listened to them speak out about it, and they're like, oh, why would they overturn it? You know, women's body and your own personal choice and all that. And I, you know, just kind of have always silently had some reasons that I didn't really agree, but I've never really just said it out loud to a lot of people that are not, you know, close to me. But I just kind of felt like, you know, I understand it's our body, my life, but it's like, I don't know, something inside of me was just like, you know, abortions and these little babies that become something if you choose to have them, and just the fact that, you know, that was a life and it's just gone. And so, again, I still kind of, like I say, do feel like, you know, our body, you know, my body, but it's just like, I just don't like where abortions had become. And again, in my experience and just working with young girls, it's just become like just a thing. And so that is kind of what bothered me, and that's some of the reasons why I was on that side of the fence of, you know, hoping that it did get overturned.
Wow. Her perspective, being on the front line and seeing that, and that's what I was trying to say before. I was thinking it's like when Shanae mentioned it, and I was trying to say, I don't think it's as looked upon as shameful these days, because I think the younger generation just speaks about it like it's nothing. You know what I mean? And her saying that, dealing with younger people, and it just and for her to be like, oh, they just mentioned 3 months later they're doing the same thing, and they just mention it like it's nothing, with no ramifications. Right, like
you just popping pills, or
but
like
it's
you
the
getting
line
here
of work that she's in too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But she's seeing it from that perspective, from the front line, is what I'm saying. As far as with the youth,
you're not, as a social worker, if you're dealing with the youth, it's for a reason. So like, I expect her to have those conversations. I expect her to hear those things and run in that circle, because that's what happens in that circle. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure if you take a look at it today versus 10 years ago, you're right. The frequency is probably gone up, but there's a reason that there's a social worker involved. I think the difference is what the previous caller was saying was that you shouldn't feel ashamed for being able to talk about it or stigmatized about it. I think what this woman is saying is that, like, now it's become such a thing that they don't even think about it. It doesn't carry the weight of, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this now, because it's just like another day, it's another procedure. So I understand where she's coming from, but I still think it's two different points.
You don't think there's shame? Okay, I'm going to put it this way. The people that have mentioned they're pro-life, there's been more almost like a, not shame, but it's almost been like it's almost like they've hid their voice, and it's almost like they can't proudly admit this. She said she's not even popular with her coworkers admitting it. She's one lower percentage. So it's almost a shame is saying that they're for this pro-life thing. Have you seen that trend that from the people you've played, that you more so hear it like
they're pro-life versus,
yeah, like there's almost a shame in saying that, oh, I'm not for this thing, versus the shame in saying I'm for abortion that you think would be the case, right? You know, it seems like there's more shame in the pro-life.
Well, she started saying that she thought she was in the minority. Then she said, well, maybe I'm in the majority because it got overturned. And she said, well, in certain circles I discuss it, but in others, matter of fact, if you listen to her, the driving force behind how she feels is really just her interaction with these young ladies. Because even at the end, she sounded like she was kind of like, well, I'm still for, like, you know, choice of body, but, you know, it's kind of turned into like a trendy thing, and I'm not liking that. So I think she doesn't like the direction that it's heading, but it sounds like she wasn't all the way sold on the removal of the process if it's really being utilized appropriately. You know,
well, she was also saying that the child could be something.
Well, at the very end, yeah. I think what she also said was that the girl was strengthened what she believed, because I think at the end she kind of said she's always kind of felt that way a little bit,
yeah,
but never spoke about it. But her being in social work kind of strengthened what she's always kind of felt. That's what I kind of took from what she said.
Yeah.
But I felt all parties were super strong about how they felt. Like, I didn't think there was necessarily like a difference in energy. Everybody was strong about their opinion, and, you know, how their opinion tied in with like their personal experiences.
Well, I to me, I just hope that this doesn't turn into how other political things have happened, where you can't be, where you have to go with the majority or you're canceled, or shame on you for speaking on a different opinion, because that's what it looks like it's going to turn in. Like, to me, it feels like it's going to be like, if you're not with women, then F you and cancel you. That's where I hope it doesn't turn to, because at the end of the, because that's what everything is turned on. It's either you see my side or you're done.
But the thing is, what side is that? Because if you're pro-life, you're pissing people off. If you're pro-choice, you're pissing people off. So there really is no winning in this battle.
No, but I'm just saying, as far as the opinion, I hope that, you know, because they keep speaking on America and so on, and rights and constitutional. Well, I hope people are still able to have their freedom of opinion.
I think so,
and not be canceled.
I think out. So with this one,
and not be damned, and not be, you know, oh, let's like I said, let's not listen to them, let's not talk to them because they have an opinion or a strong opinion. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it should be an open conversation. It should be, and yeah, of course, people are gonna have different emotions, because it is that it's a topic that will never be easy to swallow or to not get emotional over.
I think like the difference with this and maybe some other situations is this really comes down to, like, this is like gender specific, right? So regardless of what side of the fence you fall on, this is how a woman feels about a procedure that takes place with a woman. And I think just based on that common ground, maybe many folks won't get along, but I don't know if it's going to carry the weight of maybe some of the other political issues. And I'm like you, Reg, I hope not.
I hope not.
I don't think it will.
I hope not.
We're at a place where you feel like you can't express how you feel about something if it's not in line with like the majority. So I hope not.
Yeah, because if we don't have open table or platform to speak on this, then ideas can't come from it. Then reform can't happen. Then something new can take place, because there's certain things they talked about, that we're like, whoa, that's a great idea. We spoke on that. And that all happened just for having a dialogue about it. That's right. It. If you keep quiet and you're like, no, you're just supposed to have this thought and not see the other side's opinion or perspective, then nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to come from it. So I just hope that the platform, you know, people can speak on it on venues.
I think we will be able to do that. I do have one more to read. It's a real quick one.
Sure.
Maybe the last one.
Before you read it, Ray, I'm curious, like, do you know who that was that left the message?
Which one?
The very last one we listened to.
That was that was Faith. That was Faith.
You mean no?
That was Ms. Todd.
The
No,
very last one.
that was Latasha.
The reason I asked that is because I hope we can revisit this maybe 3 to 6 months from now.
Yeah.
To see if this decision carried some impact with what she's seeing with the young ladies. That, you know, like, if she felt like it really did create a fix, if it seems to be either I mean, even before the baby thing, you know, it sounds like just them protecting themselves is a big thing too, right? But if it did somehow help promote like safe sex or
abstinence,
you know, or proper planning, or you know, the actual consideration of a child. So I'm glad you know who it is, because I'd be curious to see like how this decision. She would definitely follow up with us with that. Okay, cool. Like, she's a person, if she can help you and give you information, she's the person that will help you.
Okay. All right. Definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll definitely make a note of that and let her know. We'll definitely.
And it's cool because we got 2 people. We've got her that runs in that circle, and then we've got the very first caller that says she helps at another center in Daytona that provides services and
pro-life
counseling and stuff.
Right.
So it'll be really curious to see if we could get feedback from the both of them on what they're seeing, you know, post decision.
That's cool.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Last one says, overturning Roe doesn't make abortion go away. It'll just make it more dangerous for desperate young women who would do anything to stop an unwanted pregnancy. Sad time in America. I'm pro mind your own business.
That's real.
It doesn't matter what exists inside the body of another. You have zero rights over the body of another, period.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was potent.
Right to the point.
Powerful, yeah.
Well, thank you for your opinion.
What is it? I'm pro what? Mind your business.
I'm pro mind your business.
Mind your damn business.
I don't know who that is, but thank you. I am going to borrow that. That's going to be like my terminology moving forward. Like,
that's actually Honduran Softail's mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pro mind your own goddamn business.
Yeah.
Yes. Pro mind your business. I love it.
Yeah, like man, this has been a very, very profound thing. I didn't think we were gonna have that much to say on it, to be quite honest with you guys, because just being men, I didn't know how much we were gonna touch on it. You know, I didn't know this was gonna break into a damn near 3 hour episode.
A lot of content, right? And I would love to get feedback from any of the females that heard the show that feel some kind of way about maybe one of our takes or our opinions, or something that, you know, one of the callers shared with us. So, you know, by all means, you know, we always tell you, like, Bro-RantZ family, let us know. You know.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have a follow up with this with Pooja to get her perspective, because she's probably dealt with people that have dealt that since her being a psychotherapist or mental specialist, right?
Yeah, she said it right the first time.
Yeah,
well, she does both.
Yeah, so she would have dealt with people that have done both.
Yeah,
and see what she's, you know, what the outcome has been psychologically, and see the impact on that community, because she, you know, deals with the black community a lot, and brown.
And if you guys want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on my cell as well. I don't mind giving it out. It's 386-506-2969. Reach out. You can reach out to me that way as well.
And if you're beautiful, you can hit him up too.
Or you can reach him at the Bro-RantZ the Bro-RantZ fan page. Yeah. Bro-RantZ _podcast Facebook. Yeah, you can reach him out there.
But my phone is faster.
His phone is faster. You need like you need a phantom number in order to do that. You gotta have crazies contacting you, bro.
I got crazy calling me anyway.
You like crazy, right?
Look how he's smiling.
Yeah,
I've had crazies all my life, so no big thing.
Yeah, okay, he likes it.
No, I don't like it. But
it was that That's, what was it, 3 months, 6 months that he had to deal with being in the tunnel with them boys. Made him crazy. He came out wanting crazy. Like, I don't care what they look like. I've been in a damn tube with boys.
I hope y'all heard this first part of the show, because that's the only way that's going to make sense.
It is the only way.
Ray came out the tubes after 6 months
You know,
with the boys.
I don't even need to explain. As long as it had nothing to do with me, I don't have to explain the content or the backstory. Listen to the beginning of the show, you guys would know. With that said, man, oh no, and I know we wanted to touch on, before we say sayonara to you guys and have a wonderful week. You guys haven't seen Elvis, right?
No.
That it was pretty good. I didn't like the beginning, but I did like the creativeness. You guys check it out. Let me know.
Anything that's got Tom Hanks, Will Smith, or Denzel Washington, I'm always going to check it out.
But Tom Hanks, I don't know where he came. You're going to hear this accent. It's going to blow your mind, because the Colonel didn't sound like that. He sounded American. Okay. So Tom Hanks sounds like, I don't even know, bro. He sounds like, what I would do. He just, that's the accent he's putting on, talking the whole time. And I'm thinking, oh wow, so the Colonel sounded like that. Till you look up YouTube and Colonel sounds like your average American.
Who's the Colonel?
Colonel's the manager that was for Elvis. Man, just you get the real insight, and I'll give that they give a lot of credit and a lot of credit to the black community for where he got his style. And they really pressed that in the film more than one time.
The Ray Charles video where he talks on Elvis. I just saw that recently.
No, what he said?
Ray Charles basically just short of calls him a fraud.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Wow. You got to check it out. It was actually really interesting, because he was like, "What's Elvis doing that we ain't been doing already?"
Mm-hmm. Wow.
He's like, he's just a heartthrob. The ladies love him, and so he's different packaging, but it's the same product we've been putting out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, growing up, I was a huge Elvis fan.
Me too.
Right?
Me as well.
I remember we go over to our grandmother's house, and we watched that kung fu movies, Elvis movies, listen to his music. I was a huge Elvis fan. But, as you get a little older and you try to put things in perspective, and you start thinking like time frames and like, well, was Elvis, what he was doing, was that really that different? The moves, the sound, not really. Just the packaging was different, and how the music and the dancing was coming across. And that's no knock on him, right? Timing is everything, but it's just funny, like where I viewed Elvis as a young kid as to where I view Elvis now, and I still think it was, what he was able to do was amazing, but there's a little more perspective there.
Yeah, but I'll put it this way. A lot of the groups now, let's say, so a lot of the groups from pop music and stuff, they're all been manufactured in the 90s, and they also probably followed that whole Elvis trend, bringing white into black, black music, black style, whatever like that, right? The R&B and stuff like that. But he wasn't manufactured. That was him, because he had that influence.
Right.
So that's why I'll give him credit, because and he's said it in interviews, and he said, I grew up on gospel music. I grew up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying.
That's why.
I'm saying no knock on Elvis. I'm just saying my perspective, because as a young man, I was like, wow, Elvis kind of created this thing that's kind of how I viewed it, because you didn't see, at least growing up for that time frame in those movies, it was Elvis, right? Pretty boy Elvis, he's dancing, he's rocking, he gets the hot girl, he's got all these movies. You're like, yo, that dude is the dude. But then as you get a little older, you realize, you look at him in relation to that time frame, and it's like, all right, what he wasn't doing wasn't that different. It was just that it was Elvis. And so what? He got a lot more shine and opportunity than maybe some other folks did, but I'm not knocking him.
Oh no, absolutely.
I didn't watch Elvis.
Oh really? Yeah,
I didn't watch Elvis.
Timing is everything, and it doesn't change the fact that that man is holds a spot in history.
Both y'all parents play Elvis though, right?
Most of my grandma.
Yeah.
See, that's probably why in our household, I think my parents play more.
But everything though.
50s music.
50, but it was like everything.
60s
we grew up on
everything, bro. Motown,
country,
everything.
Oh yeah, our family listened to
everything.
Everything. We're well versed in music.
Gotcha.
So so that's why, even Bee Gees, all this stuff. So you just grew up. You made your own choice. Who was your favorite? But his voice
more than the music.
Because
movies is where he got.
Yeah,
I loved all those movies. Like between the Kung Fu movies and Elvis, like that was just like, yo.
Viva Las Vegas and all that stuff. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I didn't watch him in movies either.
Wow, because that was his era. He did like 10 years of movies.
I'm a movie dude. I didn't watch it.
It was all sing-alongs,
Beach
man.
joints, like all that stuff. Speaking of movies, anybody see Maverick?
No, I wanted to see. I was in touch on that.
You seen it?
Oh, dude.
I heard it's good, right?
It is actually good.
I heard it's better than the damn original.
You was hating on it the first.
Because I said Tom Cruise looked like. What did I say Tom Cruise looked like?
I don't know, man, but
it was funny. It was
Tom
funny.
Cruise don't make flops.
You just said that.
So I'm a Tom Cruise fan.
He's a movie star,
and I love. I know the Mission Impossible's a little corny. I love them.
Nah, Mission Impossible is not corny. I
like Mission Impossible
because I like the series.
I love them. I watch them. And Top Gun, even though you look back and it maybe hasn't aged well, it's still probably one of my favorite movies, right? So when I heard he was redoing this, I was like, it's
not redoing it. It's a sequel.
I'm sorry, not redoing it, but when he was like basically, circling back on it, I'm like, oh, come on, Tom, like something should be left alone.
Yeah, I just seen Coming to America too. Come on.
I still haven't watched it. I won't do it.
Don't watch it.
No, you need to.
I won't let it ruin.
No, you have to.
The first one for me.
You have to.
Don't watch.
I've heard.
Go ahead,
reviews, bro.
No, you have to see it. Go ahead, proceed.
No, you're going down there.
We'll revisit it and we'll have a review on it.
But
don't review.
Go see Maverick. It was just as good, probably better than the first, and they did it so tastefully. Solid storyline, pays homage to like the
Goose.
It is really, really well done. Just enough cheese to still give you that 80s flavor, but it's solid.
So when I went to see Doctor Strange, the only thing I didn't like, it was trash. The thing I didn't like was that 3-minute preview or 2-minute preview of Maverick they did. It was horrible.
The previews did not do it justice, but you can't.
Did you see that?
I understand
Doctor Strange, when you saw the preview of Maverick when we talked about it, this
like
doesn't
the
do it justice. You like the preview of
Top Gun, yeah.
When they showed him taking out everyone?
Yes.
It was just
I liked it because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
I like the fact it just showed a clip. I didn't know what was going to happen in the movie. I like that.
Actually, I was about to tell you, I understand because I thought the previews could have been better too. Yeah. But how much times did we go see a movie and be like, "Oh, all the good scenes was in the preview"?
That's true. That's true.
This one, it actually, it is complimentary to the previews. So when you go and you're able to put the whole story together, like it was well done.
I like.
Go see it. So by the time we come back and we do the show, you could tell me
absolutely,
it did it justice.
Only if you go watch Coming to America too.
I'm use the Fire Stick and watch it.
Yeah. We don't obligate to that.
I would say it is worth.
We do not.
I will say this.
We do not. We just don't.
Go to the movie theater.
Please, God, go to
the movie theater because here's the deal. You know how he is with his stunts and stuff like that. So, like, the footage, the sound, the experience is going to be way better in a movie theater.
So, would it be better to watch it in the, what's that thing called?
I don't think you got to go all the way like Dolby. I mean, you can if you want to spend the extra coin. But I think a standard movie theater will be fine. You get, like, the experience with the sound and the jet engines and everything. Like, the music, the soundtrack. Like, honestly, it was really well done start to finish.
Do you remember when movies had good soundtracks and you buy the soundtracks?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That was.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since that happened, hadn't it?
So we don't. Just for the record, we do not advocate bootlegging or anything outside of the theater.
Who said something about bootlegging?
This dude said Fire Stick. This dude said I'm watching on Fire Stick.
You can now watch movies from the TV. Right.
We also don't advocate for anything that was grainy footage of R. Kelly back in the day.
It was him, but you couldn't really
You could tell, yeah. So thank God we stopped that real quick.
That was JT.
Yeah, that was JT. Scary.
JTJ
in Italy. JT in Italy. Anyway, man. So is that it? You guys want to touch on before we head out? Anything you want to rant about?
I will say this to our ladies, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, just remember it's about love and it's about respect. And sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree. So, just remain respectful of I shouldn't just say our females, but just people in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to not identify with someone's position. Let's just remain respectful. It's all about love. It's all love, baby.
Well said.
I wanted to just say thank you for everybody who reached out, who gave their opinions and their feelings about what happened, about what they feel. If many more want to reach out to us, you're still available to do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And yeah, guys, we we're all in this together, no matter what it is, whether it's COVID, whether it's vaccine, getting vaccinated, mandatory or not. We're all battling this thing called life together, man. So just be respectful of other people's opinions and choices. And if you know someone that needs a ride to go camping or the abortion, and that's their choice, hey, be their driver, man. Be supportive. Be supportive of their decision.
Shout out to Miss I'm Pro Mind Your Business. I love it. I love it, girl.
That's Nava. Miss Nava.
Absolutely. And on that note, you guys have a wonderful week.
Deuces.
Later.